listening. I write just for you, but others hearing this may find things they would argue. I do not sing what I believe, I only give them fact. If they believe quite otherwise, it still will have impact. But truth is truth, and if they then decide to live with lies, that's their concern, not mine, my friend. They're free to fantasize.
All right, we're here. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone's doing groovy. How are you today, Imbode?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm far out. I'm excited. This might be our last episode, by the way.
Yeah, when they send goons.
Yeah, it's kind of not even really a joke. These dudes come after shit pretty hard. It's kind of a fear of missing out thing when it comes to the Church of Scientology, though. Every once in a while, a video will leak, and you've got maybe 48 hours to watch it, and it's gone forever. And they're almost always hilarious. So I've watched a couple of them.
And like, I mean, we're not doing like an expose or a takedown. We're just kind of like interested in the man himself. So
Exactly.
I don't think they'll hate us. I hope not.
I hope not.
I actually don't even know that much about them. I've just heard some stories that people who tell their NDA'd information get gone after legally a lot.
Honestly, I don't imagine we'll even really need to talk about Scientology. Yeah, that's because L. Ron Hubbard, and it's pretty common that a lot of people don't know much about this dude. He's known mostly for his success with Scientology, but the guy is such a weirdo and such a habitual liar and such a clown and a loser too. This dude's a complete putz. But and so that's mostly what we're going to be covering. And shit, I had something funny to say. Never mind, doesn't matter. Never have anything funny to say.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah. Let me get that ready. Sorry about that.
All good.
So we're gonna start off with the man himself, and this is from the Church of Scientology. It's their video, and you can find this video on their main website. And if you go to About the Guy or whatever, it will have this video, and this will help put us on course for what kind of crap we can expect with him. You were wanting to talk about who was the historical dude you wanted to talk about? The Waco dude, right?
Oh yeah, we could do one on David Koresh.
Yeah,
pretty much any time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And
he's a pretty interesting figure.
He does have some weird lore behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we might branch into doing some of that stuff with those dudes, even though L. Ron Hubbard is not on the internet anymore. He's very dead. But you know, a lot of stuff still exists that makes it worthwhile, and he's still crazy. So still worth covering.
I mean, Terry A. Davis is no longer in the mortal plane anymore either, but he's still all over the internet.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to be the next locale to die? I'm thinking Boogie.
That would be a pretty reasonable choice, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard Only Use Me Blade is back, so if he starts drinking again, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm curious to get back into his stuff or get into it for the first time, really.
I guess Daniel Larson's doing okay in prison, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah. I would imagine most people would leave him alone because he just seems legitimately crazy and weird. Because he's the kind of guy who'd bite you.
Population of similar types of offenders.
Yeah.
So, like, he's not locked up with, like, I don't think he's around, like, gangs and stuff where there's, like, very specific social rules you have to follow. I think he's with, like, people who did similar types of, like, crazy things.
Now I want a bunch of Photoshops made of Daniel Larson with various prison gangs. I want to see Daniel Larson doing MS-13 poses.
Just like a shot caller in front of like a wall of ramen.
Yeah. All right, so here we're gonna get ready for this. It's about 10 minutes, and just enjoy the ride.
All right.
And I want to reiterate that this is their official narrative of L. Ron Hubbard's history. This is their story.
So the full truth.
Yes, we're going to get the authentic story that everyone tried to cover up.
He was born Lafayette Ronald Hubbard on March 13th, 1911 in Tilden, Nebraska. He spent his formative years in a rough and tumble Helena, Montana, where he rode barely broken range broncs at the age of 3.5.
Already impressive, man.
As his mother was that rarity of her time, a thoroughly educated woman, he was also reading well beyond his years. Philosophy, science, and the pillars of Western literature, all in an effort to satisfy a rare and abiding curiosity.
And I hope I can get a video made
As
about
his
me
father
this
was a
way whenever I
United
make
States
a cold.
naval officer, he was further afforded a then rare opportunity to travel,
Yeah, I gotta get cracking.
crisscrossing America's diverse communities in the teens of the 20th century. At the age of 12, he entered the Boy Scouts, first leading his troop to victory in a regional scout advancement competition, then representing scouting to United States President Calvin Coolidge. But it was his 21 merit badges that most distinguished L. Ron Hubbard at this juncture of his life.
Yeah.
For just days beyond his 13th
to tie a knot.
birthday, he became the youngest Eagle Scout in American history. It was another distinction entirely, however, that set him on the first leg of his life's course. Specifically, when an American naval officer who had studied under Sigmund Freud introduced
like these
young
videos.
L.
Kinda reminds me
Hubbard
of school.
to the theories of psychology.
Yeah, this video would be playing on that
Although
cart with
left
the
with many
VCR.
unanswered
Yeah, when the
questions,
teacher's hung over.
Here was the moment
Yeah.
when his enduring interest
Man,
in unraveling the mysteries
I'm a little
of the
bit
human
thankful
mind
that that teacher of mine was
born.
going through that divorce. We had movie day almost all the time.
His father's naval career provided
I
the
had
next
one that would,
avenue of inquiry.
she
In
would just
particular,
stare
a
into the
Far East
sun out the
assignment,
window
allowing the 16-year-old
and put on
Ron Hubbard a
videos.
chance to visit.
It's like,
She's
yeah, what is
busy.
she doing right now? Just like looking
It
at
was
the sun?
land still steeped in mystery and rarely
Sun
seen
gazing?
by Westerners.
Can't take your eyes
Yet
off it for a
pursuing
minute.
very fundamental
Start acting up.
questions on the origins of man and the ultimate source of
Okay,
life.
so he's in Asia
he
now.
trekked more than a quarter of a
Learning
million
shit.
miles through India, China, Japan, and the Philippines, into many remote cultures and much arcane wisdom, including Vedic hymns at the root of mankind's oldest beliefs. It was also through these travels he gained entrance to forbidden Buddhist lamaseries in China's western hills, and there witnessed wonders beyond any known scientific explanation. Shortly after his return to the United States in 1929, he entered George Washington University as an engineering student. It was a rigorous curriculum of scientific methodology, the very tools he needed to examine human
gotta find this
thinking
thing real
with unerring accuracy. Here, too, was one of America's earliest classes on nuclear physics, through which he embarked on yet another investigatory trail, this one to isolate a postulated life source, theoretically detectable in small energy particles. Yet laboratory experimentation was by no means all that occupied
Science
his
couldn't
university
keep up with this
days.
dude. He was too smart.
Beginning in June of 1932,
Yeah, I didn't realize like
he organized the first
how
of
much of a
several
genius he
expeditions
was.
to remote and
It's pretty
primitive
crazy.
lands. Initially, a 5,000-mile voyage into the Caribbean.
I guess you would have thought you would have
where he
heard about the
mingled with
smartest
people
person of all
predating
time.
Columbus by at least 10
Yeah.
centuries.
I mean, Nikola Tesla
Next came
flies
Puerto
under the
Rico,
radar quite a
where he
bit
not only
too.
conducted
Yeah.
one of the island's first complete mineralogical
And he's equal to what, like
surveys,
1/50th
but also
of an L.
studied
Ron
yet
Hubbard?
another ancient culture
I don't know.
deep within the hinterland. Then, taking his thirst for adventure to the skies, he became America's 385th licensed glider pilot,
Okay.
heralded by newspapers
was
of the
cool.
day as Flash Hubbard for his aerial antics. While as a barnstorming sensation of powered flight
Is
across
gliding
rural America,
difficult? I
he mixed
imagine
with
not.
still another
But
slice
I
of
don't know.
society.
Probably in that time
Then
it
leaving
was
university in the
more
depths of
difficult
the
than it
Great
is
Depression.
now.
Yeah, there's no
He began
penicillin.
his
If you
career
crash
as a
hard, you're dead.
professional author, turning his true-to-life exploits into
Where they
high-action
don't even
tales for
find you.
magazines of the day. Tales of adventure, tales of intrigue, science
Ron Hubbard
fiction,
had to
fantasies,
claw his way
westerns,
through the
and
jungle.
even the occasional romance.
Yeah.
As an undisputed legend of American pulp fiction, L. Ron Hubbard wrote it all. Indeed, with
I'm just gonna pause it right there. That might be the only true thing that's said in the entire video. Is that L. Ron Hubbard was a pretty famous pop fiction writer, or pulp fiction writer. He did publish a lot of short stories. So there you go. There's the nugget of truth.
more than 300 novels and novelettes to his credit, so prodigious was his output, he was eventually authoring stories under 15 pen names, and so filling whole magazines with his work.
That dude's just too
He was
powerful.
also scripting matinee blockbusters for Hollywood, and otherwise leaving an indelible stamp as an author whose career would span 50 years. Then, just as exploits
Before he got
fueled
to the good
story
one,
ideas,
Battlefield
so
Earth.
his stories funded still more exploration, until he was regularly crisscrossing the country to live extreme adventures and mix with people as far afield as Native American tribes along the Alaskan Panhandle. In recognition of discoveries in the field, he was further honored with a place in the prestigious and invitation-only Explorers Club, and so went on to captain expeditions beneath 3 club flags.
Oh, hell yeah.
But the real point of such adventures was the fact he was mixing with life to fathom life.
That's a good quote. I like it.
The first decisive
Yeah.
breakthrough came in 1937, when he isolated the single common denominator between all living things, a dynamic principle of existence. It was recorded in a manuscript entitled Excalibur, and presented the basis for all future research into the mind and source of
Oh,
life.
hell yeah. Got started here.
But then came an interruption to that research.
Ah, shit.
The Second World War. As he had since earned a rare Master Mariner's license to captain any vessel in any ocean, he received numerous recommendations for commission as a naval officer. In particular, he was described discreet, loyal, honest, and without peer in the art of getting things done. So
Wow,
it
just
was
like a real
Lieutenant L. Ron
DSP.
Hubbard commanded
For real.
warships in both the Atlantic and Pacific.
He was known as a
He
real
was highly
dude.
decorated for duties under fire, and ended his service in a military hospital where he was treated for wounds suffered in combat. But that's also where he embarked on his final road of discovery. Working with injured servicemen who had failed to recover despite intensive medical care, he began employing all he had learned through the previous decades: spiritual principles from the East, as well as scientific methodologies from the West.
Damn,
What
man.
he then
Dude was
discovered
unstoppable.
were mental factors inhibiting recovery and preventing medicines from taking effect. And when in fact those mental blocks were addressed, the medicine began to work, and patients swiftly returned
Yeah,
to
'cause that's
health.
how science works.
He then continued refining procedures on people from all walks
If
of
they
life.
give you an EpiPen and
Actors
you're not in a good
writers
state
in
of mind, it
Hollywood's
doesn't
film
work.
community.
Yep.
Street gang members whom he treated as a special officer with the LAPD. Even deeply troubled patients at a Georgia institution. And so it was, having developed a workable technology of the mind, he authored a definitive text on the subject. A work detailing all underlying theory, discoveries, and techniques. That book was Dianetics,
I
The
own this
Modern
book, by the
Science
way.
of Mental Health, published on May 9th, 1950. It sparked a storm of
Fascinating.
popular enthusiasm.
I kinda
and
wish they would
immediately
come
hit
to
the
my
New York
house and
Times
give me a
bestseller
copy.
list for 26
No, they don't give
consecutive
away free
weeks.
stuff. You have to buy it.
As such, it was the biggest selling book on the mind ever written, and remains so today. Contained
that's
within
not true.
was
Harry
the
Potter blew
discovery
this
of
book
the
out of the
reactive
water.
mind, the hidden source of nightmares, unreasonable fears, upsets, and insecurity.
And his number one competition
Yet
is the
L. Ron
Bible,
Hubbard never
so...
considered Dianetics an end to his research, but rather a stepping stone to the discovery and isolation of that long elusive life source. And indeed, the techniques of Dianetics provided the means by which practitioners soon began discovering past lives. Pressing application and research even further came the accomplishment of what is known as exteriorization, demonstrating the spirit was indeed separable from the body and mind. The Scientology
donor
religion
spirit?
was born. Thereafter, L. Ron Hubbard delved ever deeper into the spiritual nature of man, documenting his discoveries in thousands of recorded lectures, articles, and books.
It's true, he
While to
does have a
present
lot of
those
stuff on tape.
discoveries, he literally circumnavigated the globe, and so churches of Scientology opened on 4 continents, headquartered at his long-term residence in southern England.
Something like that, Jay.
Through ensuing years, L. Ron Hubbard continued advancing the subject until his passing in 1986. His legacy comprises tens of millions of published words and 3,000 recorded lectures. While with over 250 million copies of his books and lectures in circulation, he has inspired a movement spanning all continents and all cultures. So to those who would ask, what kind of man could have founded the only major religion of the 20th century? The answer is simple enough.
This dude.
A man who lived life from the top down and the bottom up. A man who had seen much wisdom and great suffering. A man who spent a quarter of a century bridging the gap between East and West, science and religion. A man such as L. Ron Hubbard.
Holy shit, this dude kicks ass, eh?
Yeah. Honestly, if they were around, I would talk to them.
Yeah, I would too. I would definitely want to talk to this guy. I think that there was never a period where I think he would have had an effect on me, just because he kind of was a little too good. But yeah, his story is kick ass, man. This dude did everything. He basically invented the concept of being Forrest Gump. He was everywhere all the time, was the greatest at everything. 4th place at Evo, all kinds of sick ass accomplishments.
Oh yeah, 3rd place at Evo. I remember that.
Yes, well, they branded him an honorary Japanese dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was living in Japan at the time.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. He was really good at Street Fighter. So I'm sure you guys have all picked up on it. Almost every single word of this is a lie. And not just like a little lie, but a hilarious lie. There's a we're gonna go off to the side here. There's a really good article by Cracked, which sounds like an oxymoron, admittedly. And it's called L. Ron Hubbard's 5 Most Impressive Lies. And it discusses many of the things that we'll go over. But essentially, we'll do the military one, because the military one's really funny. And he said he said that he was in pretty much every single field of conflict. This dude inspired war. You know, he was helping out, Douglas MacArthur and stuff like that. He was influenced everything. And his narrative...
The question isn't which hood tube steak from. The question is what hood tube steak ain't from.
Yeah, exactly. And it's weird that history doesn't remember him. That's kind of weird. But he got, according to his narrative, he got injured. And that he used the sheer power of mind and Scientology to heal himself. Well, it's all a lie. What happened was this dude did serve in the military in the Navy. And was pretty much from the get-go stupid and disorganized. However, it's true that he was decent with sailing. He did do some stuff well, but he would always find a way to leverage that into something else. And he served as a captain of a ship and did unauthorized military training exercises in Mexican waters and even fired on the country. So this dude opened fire on a neutral country during World War II.
That's pretty based, first of all. But like, did he get reprimanded for that?
Oh yeah, he got kicked right out. And
okay.
The reprimanding and the discharge papers are completely the opposite of what they're saying in that video we just watched. Because they were saying like, "Oh man, he's so cool. We love him. He's discreet. He gets everything done." his discharge papers were essentially saying this guy is too stupid to function. He is a liability to keep around, which I imagine is what they would have said about Phil when they discharged him. But yeah, he was not liked at all. And he never actually really suffered any war wounds. That's a lie. So he's also got stolen valor along with some of his stuff, or rather that part of stolen valor. What he did have was he had a series of like medical complications, like trench foot and stuff like that. And somehow that got warped into battle wounds. So
Wait, you mean like gout?
Yeah, gout. Yeah, gout. He invented it.
Back then, there was more. You could just get away with a lot more of like. It's like, oh, you were discharged from the military. It's like, yeah, for being too good.
Yeah.
Actually, I was a hero at every major battle.
Look, it's called Black Ops. All right, we can't actually tell you about all the cool shit I did, but just know that I did it. All right. And I actually killed Hitler. I went in there and took him out with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe it. So it goes to my original statement about this dude's lies. It's not just that he lied, but that it's hilariously the opposite. This guy wasn't a war hero. He was a war jackass. And it only gets more dumb from there when it comes to his things. Oh, this was the song that was playing at the beginning, by the way. He did some albums.
Oh, that was him singing?
Yeah, it was him.
Okay. So another thing he's the best at.
Yeah, he did make quite a few. Here's the thing with L. Ron Hubbard, as you'll see, is that the dude did have talent. He was a very talented man. However, he managed to always exaggerate the extent of his talents to apply to things that weren't relevant. And he fancied himself a scientist, and he failed out of every school pretty much that he's ever been in. But we'll see this. This guy kind of does a pretty good job of explaining what that magnetism was of L. Ron Hubbard.
Patrick Bet Davis is like one of my favorite. I don't know what you would call them, like presenters of information.
This dude here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's cool.
Like,
yeah, he rules.
To say, from washing windows to doing this, and if you got a headache, here's how to get rid of a headache, and you hit your, you kind of gradually go through this, and if you're going through this part, everything had a system to it on what he wrote about, and how many PhDs he had, and how many degrees he had, and the controversy behind the degrees that he had.
Well, he didn't have any.
Well, I mean, there is two stories you hear about. You hear about the amount he has, and you hear about he had none.
But the truth is,
this guy seems like a hater.
He flunked out of George Washington University.
Yes.
He did not finish. Okay, you ask about Hubbard. Hubbard was a larger-than-life.
Before he gets into that, I do want to provide some context. L. Ron Hubbard did have a degree, but why this guy is still dismissing it was because it was actually bought. He purchased his degree. He invented diploma milling. And so, yes, he's failed out of nearly every school he was ever in. He talked about how he was an expert atomic researcher. Dude dropped out of that class after, I think, like 2 classes or something. So, no. He's an intellectual failure.
Life character, a storyteller. If there is one word I would use to describe Hubbard, it's storyteller. Bullshitter, that could be another one, but storyteller is the more sort of appropriate because his history in life was writing fiction. He was a fiction writer, a pulp fiction writer. He developed a skill of presenting stories to people that are very entertaining. And many of those stories are about himself. And many of them are completely and utterly untrue. And he developed a sort of a persona for himself as a war hero and like all these things that actually are not true. He then, at the end of the war, he was in the U.S. Navy. He had a very indistinguished career in the United States Navy, despite the fact he subsequently claimed that he was a war hero. He had Purple Hearts. He was injured. He was a ship captain. He was this. He was that. Like the stories of his exploits in World War II, should be the subject of a movie if any of them were true.
Yeah, he was
but
beating
they're
out
not.
Audie Murphy.
So he then came upon this thing of, I'm going to cure myself of the injuries. He claimed he was blinded and crippled at the end of the war. He was neither. He had ulcers. And he developed this thing called Dianetics. And Dianetics, he claims, is scientifically researched and tested on hundreds of people and this and that. None of that is true. Yes, he dabbled around with people, but Dianetics is basically
Yeah, this guy's a hugely
regression
negative individual.
therapy.
Big man.
It is taking an incident of upset or emotional strain or physical injury or whatever and going back and finding the first point that it began and sort of recounting it. And Hubbard devised, invented, created this thing that he called the reactive mind.
So something I want to discuss here with this is that L. Ron Hubbard had a little bit of that LTG, where LTG was mad that people did not accept him. He was mad that his fellow Black community did not embrace him in any sort of way. L. Ron Hubbard was very much the same way with psychiatry and psychology. To some extent, he was like that with psychoanalytics as well, which is Freudian stuff. But for sure, psychiatry and psychology, he had complete animosity for. To this day, to this day, yeah, Scientology thinks that psychology and psychiatry should be dismantled, that it is evil. And that's why. It's because this dude really did think that, okay, I'm very spirited enough. I have all these beliefs. They're going to listen to me talk about this and say, you know what, this Hubbard dude's onto something. We should do some research onto, what was it, the reactive mind? Yeah, but they never did. At no point ever did the scientific community even so much as roughly entertain his thoughts.
Meanwhile, they listened to Sigmund Freud.
Yeah, Sigmund Freud. I guess there's a limit, you know. As soon as we start talking about body thetans, well, we're losing interest. But yeah, you can see it in all this. And something that also kind of gets lost about L. Ron Hubbard when it comes to his writing skills is this dude did not have a skill for subtlety. If you ever read Battlefield Earth, the enemy is basically just psychologists, because it's Cyclo, and then they have a faction called the Ologists. That's how creative this man is.
Wait, he wrote Battlefield Earth?
He did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. That's why John Travolta wanted to have it get made, because it was a Scientology movie.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't read it. My dad has read it and said that it's pretty good. He was impressed by it. But he did say the dude was very long-winded.
And that is what Dianetics is about. And the reactive mind is one of Hubbard's great strokes of genius. He said that you have a subconscious mind that controls your emotions, makes you sick, gives you physical ailments, and that it is composed of moments of pain and unconsciousness that are below your level of awareness, and that current things in the environment will trigger your historical subconscious thoughts, pains, and emotions. Mm-hmm. And
so in this regard, what he's describing right here, this is fairly well known even in psychology and psychiatry. And that's just, your environment does dictate your behavior in a lot of ways. And you do have underlying traumas that manifest in different ways. We watch Dark Side Phil. That dude clearly has a lot of traumas that he manifests on his poor unsuspecting fans. But that part was never the issue with L. Ron Hubbard. Not really. Because all that stuff had been more or less established. His issue was always with how you treat it, how you deal with it. And that's where they all called him crazy and stupid.
That Dianetics can solve that. The beauty of this to present to someone is, look, you may be really fucked up, but it's not your fault. It's this thing called a reactive mind. And you don't control it, but we have a way of getting rid of it. And if you give me some money, I will teach you and audit, that's what it's called, auditing in Scientology, and get rid of your reactive mind. Now, someone who has physical illnesses or who is traumatized or who is emotionally unstable or whatever, telling them that you've got this secret that you have discovered that nobody else has ever known, and that I can cure you of those things. I mean, Hubbard's claim, still sold in the Dianetics book today, it'll cure cancer, it'll cure bursitis, you'll throw away your glasses, you won't need a walking cane anymore, you won't be irrational, you'll be a perfect thinking machine. None of these things prove to be true.
At all.
Well, okay, here's the trick of this, Patrick. There is some placebo effect.
Yes.
That you tell someone, I'm going to cure you, and then you do stuff, and they pay for it. A lot of people will say, yes, I'm cured. Oh, yes, I can walk again. It's like, so you can't exactly say that nothing ever happens to anybody. And this is one of the things that's very tricky about this subject is you will see all sorts of testimony from people telling and saying, oh my God, I was such a nervous wreck and now I'm not. And oh my God, I had this terrible problem with nausea when I woke up in the morning and I found through Dianetics that it was solved now. And I guess that probably is true. But that is presented by Scientology now, or Hubbard then, as if you do it exactly as Hubbard says, it works 100% of the time.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here.
All right. So yes, that was a good introduction to his medical perspective, at least in terms of Dianetics. I do own Dianetics. I haven't gotten that far into it. But it is true that it is pretty outlandish with what it can promise you. It does say that it basically will cure gout, which I feel like DSP should.
Well, the costing money aspect would probably be a roadblock there.
Yeah. Well, that's where Adam comes in. And the other pay pigs.
And I would imagine that, oh yeah, someone could donate it to him.
Yeah, there you go. He would read it. It is a hefty ass book.
I feel like Phil would be too afraid to pirate it also.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't do that. That's against the law.
I think that no, they did get it back, I believe. Because Dianetics, they did lose. Because L. Ron Hubbard, he went bankrupt. And he had to lose a bunch of stuff in the bankruptcy. And one of the things was that he lost the rights to Dianetics. But then he reworked it a little bit and came out with Scientology. So Dianetics is kind of like the demon souls, and then Scientology is the dark souls. You know, they're not technically the same thing, but how much of this had you known about this dude?
I don't know all that much about him. Okay. Nor do I know all that much. Like, I know about, like, they measure your thetan levels and then they try and get those down.
Yes.
And those are, like, almost their equivalent of demons.
Yeah, basically. It's a very weird mishmash of when he was describing it, or the video was describing earlier, that he has all these mishmash of ideas of Eastern and Western systems. That is pretty true, and that it's all over the damn place. Yeah, Thetans are essentially they're alien souls. They're alien souls that after Lord Xenu blew up a volcano with an atom bomb. I know I'm skipping ahead quite a bit here, but basically these alien souls are wandering the earth and they attach to bodies and they fill you with all kinds of negative shit. They give you gout. But in the process of auditing, you learn what those aliens were basically traumatized by. And in the process, they will disattach from you. And that weakness that you had will be gone. Except
like
that, yeah.
Learning a spirit's real name.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It works all the time. And the whole process...
No, go ahead.
The whole objective is to remove all the Thetans. There's some misconceptions when it comes to the memes of Scientology. You actually want 0 Thetans. as most people will say, oh, I got to increase my thetans. No, that's a bad thing. So when you've got 0 thetans, you're supposed to be a thing called clear. And clear is essentially superhuman. You have nothing holding you back anymore. There have been a couple people who were confirmed clear, and all of them failed very rudimentary tests. So,
Interesting. I know they recruit, at least in California, by having like good-looking young women approach lonely-looking men,
yes.
and then that's how they like get people hooked in to start. It's
Yes.
like, oh wow, who's this chick talking to me? And then it's like, now, how much money do you have?
The South Park episode on Scientology, you can really understand why it is they got so bothered by that episode. And the main reason why is because there's not a single lie in the entire episode.
Oh, okay.
Everything that they portray is pretty much 100% accurate. They do a lot of personality tests. Hey, would you like to swing by and get a free personality test? There's a coupon for Subway, whatever crap like that. And then they do your personality test, and then they'll always find something wrong with you. They'll say, oh man, I see, you're suffering from a lot of anxiety, aren't you? Oh, and then that's how they get you hooked. And
Wait, I am?
Yeah. Dude,
how do I get rid of it?
How much do I pay?
Yeah.
And it's an attractive woman, so of course they're going to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite
the only people that handled South Park correctly were the Mormons.
Yeah.
Because like they made that just basically like a comedy about their religion, and they were like, yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yep, that's how you escape it. That's how you make it do the least amount of damage.
Yeah. Have fun with it.
And I wonder if that play and those episodes, a few people probably looked into Mormonism and were like, actually, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that's hype. There's this lady I watch on YouTube, and she's also on TikTok, and it's this former Mormon, and she discusses it fairly often. But she did do a reaction to the South Park episode, and she said it was absolutely 100% accurate across the board on everything. And
that guy on PBD was he was like a executive scientist or something, I think it said. He was something like that.
On which one?
That guy we just watched talking about him. He was like some kind of executive something.
Oh, that's bad.
So like I guess he left.
Yeah, there have been many people who I said earlier we were going to talk about Scientology, but Scientology is just so fascinating because it is a very successful modern day cult, and they're very smart, they're very crafty, they know how to use the law to their advantage on certain things. But yes, people have defected from Scientology fairly often, and then how it's responded to is Scientology has a thing called fair game, and this was created by L. Ron Hubbard personally. And essentially, it's if anyone breaks away from the church, they no longer have human rights.
Oh, wow.
And they will just cause all kinds of shit for this person. And because that threat is existing, that deters people from breaking away. And yeah, it's rough. There's been a lot that people will do. People have reported stuff like they'll get constant letters in the mail saying that they should kill themselves and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I can't confirm, but like, yeah, gang stalking,
exactly,
basically activity. Like people are just following you around.
Exactly. They'll talk to your employer, they'll talk to your landlord, stuff like that. And again, part of fair game is that they are allowed to lie about you. They can just say, yeah, that dude abuses children, and then get you kicked out of your apartment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there's honestly nothing really the law can do about it, even though you would think that there could be, but not really.
They have a pretty good legal team from what I've heard.
They do. Their legal strategy is really cool. It basically, they don't even really go to court. They just keep drawing it out until the other person runs out of money.
Mm-hmm. And they'll never run out of money.
No, never. That's where all that money goes to, is to...
They got Tom Cruise's money.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. Okay, the next one is the top 10 lies and stolen valor of L. Ron Hubbard. This one's a shorter one, about 9 minutes.
Hello, and welcome to the Truth Hub.
Look
In
at
today's
that
video,
building.
we'll be covering the
Pretty
top
hype,
10
huh?
lies and stolen valor of Scientology's founder,
It's true,
L.
Wyatt.
Ron Hubbard.
Also,
If you like
did you
the
know,
video, please
fun fact for everyone, the biggest successful infiltration of the United States government was the Church of Scientology.
Interesting.
Historical fact, they did a thing called Operation Snow White, and they infiltrated every single branch of the federal government and most of the state governments, and did aggressive espionage on all investigations into the Church of Scientology. They stole a bunch of documents, destroyed a bunch of documents, did a bunch of wiretapping and blackmailing. You would have thought that would have been the end of it. No, they still got away with it.
click like and subscribe, as it helps the channel tremendously. Thank you. L. Ron Hubbard claimed to be a nuclear physicist, but in reality he actually failed both high school and college. He left George Washington University after his sophomore year, during which time he failed a course on molecular and atomic physics. However, this did not stop Hubbard writing a book titled All About Radiation. A 1965 Australian inquiry ended with the Board of Scientists saying the following about Hubbard. Hubbard's knowledge of radiation, as displayed by his writings in All About Radiation, was the sort of knowledge that perhaps a boy who has read intermediate physics might, with a lot of misapprehensions and lack of understanding, demonstrate.
Yes, he was quite fascinated by radiation. He's kind of why you've got Fallout, the game, how it has these weird views on radiation. Because Hubbard wasn't necessarily alone in this. During the early 50s, before we really understood, or rather before the populace really understood what nuclear power was, the understanding was that, nuclear radiation would give you superpowers, or make you grow an extra arm instead of just killing you.
Oh yeah, women were putting, I believe it was radon
Yes.
on their skin and teeth so they could glow, a
Yes.
healthy glow. And the results were pretty bad.
Yeah.
And the way they used to paint glow-in-the-dark watches was a bunch of ladies would manually paint the lines on and then use their mouth to stiffen the bristles of the brush. And they were wondering why all of them were basically melting.
Yep.
Which I guess that's what Phil was doing.
Yeah, I think so.
He's melting.
I do think that DSP could have a potential lawsuit that he could win. I think that he is on top of some sort of nuclear disposal site that wasn't marked properly. Because that dude is rough shape.
Oh, there was another guy too who was, I want to say he was some kind of prince of some kind. And they had this thing called, I want to say it was called heavy water. And it was supposed to be a miracle tonic. And you were supposed to only take a drop of it, a day. And this dude was drinking bottles of it every day. And his jaw fell off was the first symptom.
That's awesome.
And now he is buried in a lead-lined casket, and his body will be a radiation hazard for thousands of years.
Damn, that's so cool. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what was it? Marie Curie, her notebook, because she was a leading nuclear.
Oh yeah, she was just keeping radioactive rocks in the bedstand.
Yeah, her shit's super radioactive. Ah, man. So when L. Ron Hubbard had these thoughts of radioactivity, he was kind of pulling from the pop culture understanding at the time. But the thing about it was that the dude who made the movie The Incredible Shrinking Man, which that's essentially what the plot was, is the guy got exposed to nuclear radiation and then began shrinking. This dude never tried to create research papers on it, because that would be stupid. But L. Ron Hubbard is the kind of guy who'll write that story and then go tell colleges, hey, I understand how this shit works now. You ever see Incredible Shrinking Man?
I have not.
It's a good
I saw
one.
The Incredible Hulk, though, and that's pretty similar.
It is pretty similar. Incredible Shrinking Man is cool. It's a good-ass movie.
L. Ron Hubbard said that when he was 4 years old, a medicine man named Old Tom made him a blood brother of the Blackfeet Indians of Montana. In actual fact, the nearest Blackfoot reservation was over 100 miles away. In addition to this, blood brothers are an old Hollywood idea, and that act was never performed amongst the Blackfeet Indians. Furthermore, at this time, the Blackfeet did not use Christian names.
There's another element to that story of him saying that he was inducted into the Blood Brotherhood, is that in response to that, the Native American tribe that he said did it, they issued a press release saying, "We don't do that shit, and we've never heard of this guy." That's what I'm talking about. Why I love this dude so much is because he does DSP level of lying. It's just pointless lying for no reason, and he got debunked every time.
Well, he probably thought he was good because he's like, they don't have a printing press.
Yeah, they don't read anything I say.
And as it turns out, they did.
Ah, shit. I wasn't prepared for intelligent opposition.
The Church of Scientology described L. Ron Hubbard as a pioneering barnstormer at the dawn of aviation in America. Hubbard could actually only fly gliders and not powered aircraft in the early 1930s, as opposed to Charles Lindbergh, who crossed the Atlantic in 1927, so it seems unlikely that Hubbard was a pioneering barnstormer at the dawn of aviation in America. Hubbard claims that he was wounded in combat and awarded 2 Purple Hearts and a Bronze Star. This is the lie that he told when he was escaping from Java. He was machine gunned in the back by the Japanese. This is impossible, as his war records state he was over 2,000 miles away in Australia at the time of this incident.
Oops.
So it never happened.
Another detail of that one is that he described a type of Purple Heart that the Navy doesn't give out.
Ah, yes.
Because it's something, I don't know the exact specifics or something, but it's something like the Navy gives out Purple Heart with laurels, whatever. And then the Army, the one that he said he got was like Purple Heart with, I don't know, the different attachments. So because he had this inconsistency in his story, people quickly figured out. It was never really a period where these lies went for a long time. He was usually debunked the next day.
Hubbard also states, as a consequence of these injuries, he was returned home as the first American casualty of the war in the South Pacific on the Navy's private jet. The reality of this is, the US Navy in Brisbane ordered Hubbard returned to the US for being meddlesome and quarrelsome, as you'll see in the records I've put above. In addition to this, he was declared incompetent by his superior officers.
Actually, he was annoying.
Why are you being discharged? Apparently I'm annoying. I agree.
Submarine after a battle that lasted over 35 hours. The truth of this is he actually launched depth charges at a magnetic deposit on the ocean floor off the coast of Oregon. Over the course of 2.5 days, Hubbard ordered his crew to fire a total of 35 depth charges and a number of machine gun rounds to the target, which Hubbard believed to be 2 Imperial Japanese Navy submarines. Hubbard claimed to definitely sink them beyond doubt.
Yeah, well, they're not there anymore, so clearly he got them.
Yeah, those dudes were just about to invade California.
In essential qualities of judgment, leadership, and cooperation. Yeah.
It's like the Bigfoot hunters. Like, yeah, they definitely are effective because, like, how many Bigfoots do you see on a daily basis?
That's true. They're keeping them at bay.
Yep.
I wish that I could do mods for video games. I would make a mod for Hearts of Iron 4 where one of your commanders is L. Ron Hubbard.
He's just doing his own thing.
Shit. Yeah, he just blows stuff up. That's his own guys and whatnot. Hell yeah.
Acts without forethought. The Church of Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard himself claim he was awarded many medals after the war. Depending on who is telling this story, these number of medals range from the numbers 21, 27, and 29.
Holy shit.
The Navy observes that Hubbard's service record showed that he had actually only been awarded 4 decorations: the American Defense Service Medal, American Campaign Medal, Asiatic Pacific Medal, and the World War II Victory Medal, and only sent these 4 medals back to the Church of Scientology. When they requested that all medals be sent back to the Church of Scientology so they could be displayed. The problem with this is the other medals don't exist and never have. He never earned them, as he actually never served a real day in armed combat in his entire life. The only piece of evidence stating that he has earned these medals come from the signature of a non-existent officer. There have been no records of him ever existing, and he was also apparently a Church of Scientology member.
Oh,
I'll let you
badass.
think of that for yourself.
Oh, we kind of went over this one already.
In Dianetics, Hubbard said the following: his counselling techniques: arthritis vanishes, heart disease
Man, what a
decreases,
bummy-ass
asthma
office.
disappears, the stomach functions
That
properly,
painting's cool,
and the whole
though.
catalogue
Yeah.
of illnesses goes away and stays away, with his auditing and vitamins.
He always looks like
In
a
fact,
guy
he
that
actually
Michael
claimed
Myers
to cure
would
his own
play.
half-blindness and
He
lame
really
leg after
does.
the war. Of course, he actually never sustained these injuries, as he was never actually in the war itself. The only illnesses recorded in Hubbard's naval career were listed as the following: possible pink eye and laryngitis, and a bad cough, possibly from smoking around 40 cigarettes a day.
Holy shit.
Right on.
Hubbard also stated in Dianetics that a person would be promised a state of clear, which would include the following: a complete recall of everything which has ever happened to him or anything that he has ever studied. This claim has never been demonstrated by any Scientologist or anybody that has ever read
Well, that's because they're not
Dianetics,
clear yet.
including Hubbard himself, who forgets the many lies he told throughout his life. He actually stated the following about his book: a milestone for man, comparable to his discovery of fire and superior to his invention of the wheel and the arch.
Oh.
In 1980, L. Ron Hubbard passed away. The Church of Scientology maintains that he did not in fact die, and that he in fact discarded his body to continue the research of Scientology.
Hell yeah.
The actual coroner's report states that L. Ron Hubbard was in very, very poor health when he died. He was nursing himself with medicine and drugs. This is the Church of Scientology's official statement on L. Ron Hubbard's death.
This level is in fact done in an exterior state, meaning that it is done completely exterior from the body. At this level of OT, the body is nothing more than an impediment and encumbrance to any further gain as an OT.
Dude was so badass, he rage quit his own body.
I mean, to be fair, that's what like most religions kind of go with
Yes.
as well. Like Christians say that Jesus like ascended, Buddha, like I think just sort of dissolved into the Om, something like that. Don't quote me on that one, but it's something like that. Like he was so enlightened that he just like
He peaced
didn't
out.
need to be physical anymore.
It is definitely an underlying theme, is the weakness of the human body, and that one should discard it. And well, he did it. Pretty
Yep.
cool, huh? Damn, this guy's good.
Yeah.
2,000 hours Friday, the 24th of January, AD 36. L. Ron Hubbard discarded the body he had used in this lifetime for 74 years, 10 months, and 11 days. The body he had used to facilitate his existence in this messed universe had ceased to be useful, and in fact, had become an impediment to the work he now must do outside of its confines.
You know, maybe it's this music making me think this, but there are moments with these kind of guys where I really wonder if they truly believe. And I imagine for a lot of them they do, because they really don't have any other option. You've got LTG who has to convince himself of all these ridiculous things so that he can sleep at night without the realization that he's a humongous failure. And DSP, he has to tell himself that he is a successful businessman and everyone else doesn't know how life works.
Yeah, he's actually the best, and
Yeah.
everyone else tried to keep him down. Otherwise, he would be Elon Musk.
Right. It's really everyone else's fault. And so with L. Ron Hubbard in the last couple years of his life, he was pretty much on the run from everyone. Everyone had finally had enough of his shit. And he was under investigation from the feds, and I forget how many cases he was being investigated for, but it was more than one.
Was it about money?
It was money. It was also about the Snow White scandal, how much he was involved.
Yeah.
Because he just said, I didn't know anything about it, dude. And various other things like that. Because it had already started becoming rather abusive. And most countries do not tolerate the Church of Scientology. Because with America's freedom of religion, because it's such a vast freedom, the United States government more or less just kind of has to tolerate L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology. But the other countries, they do not put up with that shit. They have different systems of laws where they can say right away, get that ass banned. As for diddling, that is the one thing that I've never really heard anyone say about L. Ron Hubbard. Is I don't think he has any real allegations that he sexually abused. Because L. Ron Hubbard, and you kind of helped me segue into this, L. Ron Hubbard wasn't interested in sex. He did not care. What he was interested in was drugs. This dude loved drugs. Yes, he was a huge.
Yeah, I believe Nikola Tesla never wanted to have sex either. He was like, dude, like, I get a boner and that just distracts me from my work.
Yeah, he's like, down there and shit, and it's bugging me.
Get this money away from me. This distracts me from my work. I just want someone to take all my money, but give me a lab.
Yeah, there you go. I agree. Nikola Tesla kicked ass.
He did, and I think like a lot of his stuff was like kind of suppressed. Like a lot of it could have worked and made the world better.
Oh yeah. Was it economically viable, bro?
Yeah, right. It would have been, energy would have been too available.
Yeah, and then how are we supposed to have shortages to scare you guys?
Mm-hmm. They killed an elephant.
Yeah, I remember that.
Give them bad press.
We're gonna kill this elephant and make you look bad, which is kind of a brave technique, you know. I'm gonna use the gun that you developed to kill people. That'll make you look like an asshole.
Yeah, right.
But L. Ron Hubbard, during the last couple of years of his life, when he was on the run from the feds, spent it floating around the Mediterranean Sea in his ship, taking a shit ton of drugs.
Okay.
There were only a couple people who knew where he was, and they were all on the ship with him. They were more or less just keeping an eye on him.
So he's like John McAfee.
Yeah, I suppose so. And someone described it as though he had a pirate's chest full of drugs that he would just take handfuls out of.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's kind of cool.
I wonder, what was he taking?
He was taking barbiturates. Oh, he was saying he was taking pinks and grays and uppers and downers. He was kind of sounding like Dr. Seuss when he was describing the drugs.
Yeah, Hunter Thompson.
I have red pills and blue pills. And
here, take some of these. Take some of these to balance out those.
Yeah, you got it's a stat management game, you know.
Yeah.
What was the anime? Hold on, I gotta see if I can find this clip because it's kind of funny. Okay, here we go. This is it. This was L. Ron Hubbard as he was taking his drugs.
According to
the part that's funny, man. I'm not interested in this part. He's just activating all of his abilities. Yeah, so as he was throwing back pills,
that's how he was getting all those medals.
Hell yeah, man. I can kind of understand it. You imagine you're an Imperial Japanese dude. It's already pretty rough because the war's turned against you. But then you've got this drug god running towards you on 50 different drugs, smoking 40 cigarettes a day. I don't know, man. I don't think the Emperor's going to mind if I retreat on this one.
40 is 2 packs a day.
The most amazing con is that he created the Church of Scientology, or as some would call it, the Company of Scientology, as it has assets in excess of over $5 billion across the world. Its followers believe the ridiculous and ludicrous claims made by Hubbard about his life. We all know, in fact, he actually lied about every single thing that ever happened to him.
Took him out of context.
Many ex-Scientologists have spoken out about the brutality that happens within the Scientology organization.
Yeah, that could be
They're
a whole
known
different
as a terrible
episode.
organization that
Just
beats their
the Church of
members,
Scientology
extorts them, and rips them off in any way they can, whilst telling them
They
if they
technically
follow
have a
them,
slave
they will
labor
achieve
force.
true happiness and knowing oneself at the cost of
Crazy.
around $10 million. In conclusion, I'd like to say that Hubbard was definitely a pathological liar that buried himself in a labyrinth of lies, creating an organisation to fund him and his lifestyle. He even stated in the 1950s, if you want to get rich, create a religion. He's a well-known liar. He didn't discard his body to carry on research. He died alone and miserable because nobody liked him because he lied about everything, ripped
DSP, heed these words.
everybody off and conned every single person he ever knew. With the evidence I've provided, I hope you can come to your own opinion about L. Ron Hubbard. I in fact think he is a pathological liar. I don't think anybody should follow him, and I think his beliefs are very dangerous.
His beliefs are very dangerous. It's across the board in terms of the things that he suggested that were terrible. He once did this thing where he broke down what you should feed a baby. And it's objectively horrible. He said that you should feed baby oats and barley as early as possible. And his reasoning behind that was that gladiators ate a lot of barley. And those dudes were strong. So you should feed your baby barley.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of logic that I guess won over a lot of people with that kind of dumb. Not formula, barley.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's what I missed out on.
Yeah, more barley as an infant.
And more drugs.
Yeah.
I don't know. That part of L. Ron Hubbard's life, I can kind of understand. Is that what it was all about? He created this entire religion, got all this money, so he could fund the last couple years of his life getting drugged out of his ass in the middle of the ocean.
Well, let's say he actually does believe he's like looking for a higher meaning. Doing a lot of the right kinds of drugs is a method people use for that.
Absolutely.
Like there's some, you can see the thought process behind that like you're looking for something, paranormal's not exactly the word, but something extra normal.
Yeah.
And if you can change your perception enough, maybe you'll catch a glimpse of it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we've both been on drugs, both you and I. That's 100% the case. I've had multiple times where I have this big epiphany of life and whatnot. I write it down, and then the next morning I read it and it says, "Who the hell wrote this dumb shit?" You know?
Yeah, you have to be in that mindset, and maybe you keep a little bit of it, but
yeah, every once in a while. I do enjoy when I get high watching DSP because I don't actually have any new insights with the dude, but they all feel new every single time. So that's just the feeling.
It's like, wait a minute, this guy sucks.
I'm not a big fan of the way he treats people. I feel like he shouldn't do that.
Is he doing politics tonight?
Yeah, he's doing DSP politics.
Oh, I'm not watching that.
No, me neither.
I could like barely watch the clips of it.
No,
it's just so annoying to listen to him.
He's a baby, man. Straight up baby.
And he's saying that, like, why is the FBI looking into this? They should be looking into my trolls. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, get over yourself.
That's some Chris Chan energy.
It really is. And then he's saying, like, yeah, he's the worst things have happened to him of anyone on the internet. It's like, well, Chris Chan and Cyrax would like a word with you about that.
Yeah.
Even Cobra gets it worse than him.
Yeah, Wings Redemption.
Oh, yeah, Wings.
Hookers got called to his house. Even though it was really funny, I could see how that could have been really dangerous. Because, when the pimp shows up and it gets a little out of hand,
Yeah.
That's not
sending
good.
anyone, any, like, third party. Like, I get if a troll wants to troll someone, but, like, when you're getting other wild cards involved, it is potentially dangerous.
Absolutely. Yeah, DSP's a brat. I'm really hoping DSP politics goes away fast, but I have a weird feeling it's going to stay.
And like the only way that he's actually been hurt by trolling is that he made slightly less money for doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Like he never got in any like major trouble. No one actually tried to hurt him. Like
Yep.
nothing really happened. Like I don't think he's been stolen from. Like he's had it pretty easy. He gets trolled a lot. Like I mean, I wouldn't enjoy that, but like he kind of asks for it repeatedly.
And I would say that most of the big consequences that have happened to him would not have happened if he didn't do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he always gets banned from platforms or loses sponsorships, and he always blames the trolls and says, they told them that I did this thing. And it's the PewDiePie defense. The evil isn't that I did it. The true evil is that you told people that I did
You
it.
pointed it out, yeah.
That's
And he is
evil.
right in a sense that like if he didn't have a bunch of trolls, maybe Twitch wouldn't have known about those things, but like he had a bunch of trolls when he did those things.
Yes.
So it's not like he was blindsided.
He always just thinks people should, by default, side with him. Which is crazy to me. Whose side's with dark side, Phil? Man, have you? Okay, we're getting off track from L. Ron Hubbard.
We are,
but I want to talk to you about this real quick. Have you heard about what's happening with Kino Casino?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Worski's in the hospital.
Oh, he is?
Well, he's in some sort of treatment facility. I don't know if it's a mental facility or a drug treatment facility, something or other. But yeah, he got some bad drugs and had a come apart.
Oh no.
So, and then the details of their Las Vegas trip came out. It is so beautiful that DSP likes these guys, because these dudes are the degenerates that he always accuses the detractors of being.
Yeah, they seem like the worst possible portrait of a detractor.
Yes.
Like they're misery merchants, they're misery brokers.
Yeah, and their lives are miserable.
And they're on drugs. Can you believe that?
And they're on drugs, and they just seek sex from hookers, which is illegal.
Yeah.
And
they're not married, so it doesn't matter. Or maybe they are married. I don't actually know.
I don't think so. Who would marry those two jokers? Yeah, get out of here.
I don't know. Who would marry Darkside Phil?
Yeah, that's true.
Who would marry Boogie?
I think about that picture probably every day of Boogie in a hole.
Oh yeah.
He's in a hole and there's just a bunch of litter on him. What a loser. Oh man. But we're never doing a Boogie episode. I do not want to do a Boogie episode. He sucks. He's lame.
Yeah, I'm not particularly interested in him.
No, there's not much to him. He's just this fat dude who makes really bad decisions all the time, and then
giant dumbass.
Yeah, and then says that he's smarter than everyone. He's DSP, but with all the extreme craziness evaporated out, really.
Yeah, and when he does do something crazy, you like know that it's performative.
Yeah, he's the fakest individual ever. So, what else do we got here on this side? Man, I just love talking about locales. They're so much fun.
I know.
A lot of these are pretty repetitious when it comes to the things that he lied about. And so there's probably not a whole lot more to discuss with L. Ron Hubbard, at least in terms of the person himself. Let me see what else I can find. And you sent us some videos, so that'd be cool.
I did.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see them. Now this is an interesting little thing, is that his son turned on the Church of Scientology.
Are you the natural son of L. Ron Hubbard?
Yes, I am.
This is how your father originally gained his main source of income?
Yes, it was. There are, but the problem there is a lot of his writing. He didn't really write as many words as he said he did. Through the early 50s, he used to tell everybody that he had written 7 million words of fiction. But in fact, it probably never exceeded 1 million words. And that a great deal of his income came from my mother, who and my grandfather, his father, who supported him.
Then much of that has been written and said about your father is a figment of his imagination, which you...
That's quite correct.
And how bad do you have to be and to go and do a congressional hearing calling you a liar?
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
I could find a video on that guy who was drinking the radium water.
Oh, hell yeah.
That should be pretty easy to find. I can't guarantee it's going to be a good video, but hopefully.
If Kat had a better option offered to her now or before Pig Roach went in the DMs, she would not be with Phil. I think that...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you're definitely right. There is a sort of transaction there. And that I don't think Kat ever really wanted to be someone in the emotional, romantic, or even really sexual. I just don't see it in her throughout any of her time period.
And in that sense, they're the perfect couple.
Exactly.
Because it's zero effort from either of them. You get to have the status of married.
Yes, in the legal protections.
And that's
and
what
all this
adults do.
Yeah, they create contracts.
And I think it was Taken L's was saying that like DSP probably had sex once and didn't like it and never did it again.
Yeah, it wasn't fun for him, you know.
Yeah, it was too much work.
Man, I gotta like move my hips around.
I have to do stuff for the girl to like it.
I'm not gonna eat her out. Look
You
at
never
it.
told me.
I said I didn't want lunch meat sandwiches. Anyway. Dignity. Yes, dignity.
My father's been married 3 times. I know in Scientology literature and what he tried to lead other people to believe in his writings of his biographies that he's only been married once to Mary Sue Hubbard, but he's been married 3 times.
Oops.
The true history of L. Ron Hubbard should come out and should be known by people. I'm talking about the documented facts and the actual occurrences of his lifetime, because he has built up over the years since 1950 a great mystique, a great amount of...
oh, fire alarm's going off. I'll change the battery.
And imaginary data. I could say flatly that 99% of what my father wrote about his own life and what he had done is false.
Was he really in the war and shut up and healed himself with his own mind?
Hell no.
He was in the Navy during World War II, but he wasn't shot up.
Okay, what about his educational background?
Blinded.
Oh, we can skip that. It's basically nothing.
He was never wounded or blinded.
Would you like to go into how far in college did he indeed go and what degrees has he had?
He spent a few months, as far as college is concerned, at George Washington University. And one of the major points that he has said that he has a degree in engineering. At one point, there was a degree in nuclear engineering. Now, of course, that changed. As far as any nuclear engineering is concerned, he only took 1 semester, and he received an F, as in failure, for the 1 semester.
Damn, man.
But the incident in Dianetics Mars...
Oh, man, I hope I never have a kid who has to do this for me. Yeah, my dad wasn't as deranged as he said.
He actually liked Darkside Phil and LTJ.
Damn it! Oh, man. All the secrets.
He was actually a secret mod for LTJ.
You guys didn't know this, but limited range was OIC the whole time. Shit. Say one day that speaking against Scientology will repeat REPA CMP, or they would come after you. They are pretty litigious with this kind of stuff. Honestly, I'm not going to be shocked if tomorrow I have like 6 different copyright claims against this video.
If they want to like do a cease and desist against this, then like, what are they doing with their money?
Exactly.
Like they're going to go after this stream.
And
it's like we didn't make any money off of it, so there's no way they can. There's nothing for them to take.
Exactly.
I don't really own anything. Like I don't know. I think we're all right. Plus, I don't think we were very. I don't think we were very harsh. We're just like repeating things from documentaries.
Yes.
Like I don't like I said. I would talk to him. I would take the personality test. I'm fine with that.
Look,
See what they're about. Yeah.
I actually really believe it. I think that it's completely legit, and I'm ready to be the next Tom Cruise. Guys, just give me the
Like, I'll
chance.
talk to almost any religious
Hell yeah.
group just to learn more about them. Like, I like
Definitely.
talking to Buddhists and Hindus and Muslims.
Hare Krishnas and stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah, if I ever run into them.
Yeah, I ran into a Hare Krishna in college. He was really cool, really chill dude.
Oh, wow.
He gave me a book for free. I still have it somewhere. But I got him lunch. The best I could do.
Right on.
That's what's up.
Generally, people like talking about it too.
Oh yeah. They
If someone like wants to talk about my beliefs, I'm like, yeah, sure.
It kind of reminds me of that Family Guy skit where he's Jehovah's Witness. He goes to the door. He's like, "Well, I'd like to talk to you about being a Jehovah's Witness." And the guy says, "All right, let's hear it." I actually don't have anything prepared.
I've had a couple times of that where people are like, "So we have mass at these times, and you can go to this website." But I've also had people who like talk to me for like 4 straight hours about like everything about history and religion, and had some pretty interesting takes sometimes.
Too bad DSP misses out. He doesn't have any dudes coming to his door. They'd get arrested.
No. Yeah, I wonder though, like he might just not mention it.
I feel like he would have brought it up. This guy brings up every tiny inconvenience to him. He would
that might be the one though that like, because he would be like, if someone subtly trolled him in public, like I really don't think he would want people to know that that's an option.
Yeah.
Because like he does go in public once a week, and like he goes to, well, unless it's all secretly delivered, which it might be, but I think he actually goes to Total Wine. He at least gets his hair cut somewhere, and like I don't know, who knows? Maybe everywhere he goes, people are just like gout, 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 gout out the window. I think we would hear about it from them at least, like, or on the farms they would mention it, but
yeah,
you never know.
Because that dude who took the candid pictures in the mall of him, of Cat, that got out really quick.
Yeah.
I kind of want to have I kind of want DSP flash mobs to become a thing. Just DSP comes, DSP comes out,
and like not even to do anything bad to him, just to be like repeating things he said.
Right, that's what we're gonna do in Bode. We're gonna drive up there and recruit a bunch of actors. Like I'm sure there's just a couple like theater kids that we could have do this. Equip them with balding hairline wigs and goatees and gamer shirts and pants.
Oh, like the bum fights guy on Dr. Phil.
Kinda, yeah.
He shows up as Dr. Just everyone in line with a fucking bottle of whale tail gin, just being like, "Oh, geez, I hope I don't have a gout flare up today."
we have a team of Phils, right? And then we wait outside of Total Wine for DSP to leave Total Wine, and we just mob around him and start T-posing and pre-streaming. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, man. And there's nothing wrong with that, Phil. It's just
like
being
your
funny.
Card gets declined, and you're like, "Oh my god, that must be chargebacks."
Yeah, we'll hold him up in line because we'll always get in front of him when we go to the checkout and just T-pose and talk to the clerk for the whole
time.
WWE
champions from 40 different phones.
Oh man, that'd be damn it. See now, DSP, you do not get trolled because that's trolling.
Right, yeah.
Man, get out of here. But I think for the most part that really does kind of wrap up L. Ron Hubbard. It was going to be a kind of a short one because he is fascinating without Scientology. However, there's no denying that Scientology is where the meat of all this is. And his story is a pretty easy one to understand, and it's very much like DSP. Everything that he says is a lie. Everything. So it's once you have that rule down with L. Ron Hubbard, anything that he says, you could just dismiss it. Very much like Phil. But heed these words, Phil. That's what you get.
And somehow L. Ron Hubbard was way more successful.
Yes.
At it. He billions of dollars, like multiple countries, kind of built an empire. He's got Tom Cruise and John Travolta in there. I think there's others too.
Yeah, there's plenty of
other
others.
like celebrities.
What was his name? Isaac Hayes, chef.
Oh yeah,
that's why he left.
Oh yeah, that was the Super Adventure Club. Yeah. I'm sure they really didn't like that one.
It was such a weird thing with Isaac Hayes is because when he got interviewed pretty soon after the episode came out, and he said something to the effect of, dude, they make fun of every religion. I'm not really that worried about it. And then a couple days later, I guess he got a talking to from the Church of Scientology. His tune completely changed. He said, these guys have no respect for anything. They don't care about anybody but themselves. They insulted a religion that has brought so much good into the world and all this and that.
Oh, right. Yeah, the Super Adventure Club episode was in response to that. Yeah, that came after.
Yeah.
That is a great episode or
It is.
series
It's a
of
very good
episodes.
episode.
I think it's more than one.
The funny-ass episode. I should rewatch South Park. Man, they had some pretty good-ass episodes. I just feel that South Park, after a while, I did feel myself becoming too cynical when I watched it.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't like that feeling. I don't like feeling that everything is stupid and everything is pointless. Because I feel that enough as it is. I don't need TV to give me that feeling.
Right. Yeah, for real. So I sent you the video about the guy who drank radium all the time.
Okay.
We got the one about Destiny realizing that like he's been talking to AIs a lot more than he thought.
Okay.
And then we got a guy who made a computer powered by a V8 engine.
That's rad as hell. Okay, so this is Radio Man.
Yeah.
Now,
I hope this is a good video, but we'll see.
I want to announce this too, is that I think that our next episode is going to be covering submissions. So if you guys have submissions of videos, and it could be any kind of weird shit, but do make it weird, you know. We're going to probably be doing that the next two episodes from now.
Yeah, weird and funny.
Yeah,
I would say are the
Even
interesting is good too, but
Yes.
like funny.
Yeah,
Not
give
that
us
what we're
crazy or
about to
funny.
watch is funny, but
Yeah, this
you
isn't
know.
funny.
This
you put
is
even half the film.
extremely tragic, but
Think
it's a
about
little
it.
You guys
When
might
people
have
took
noticed that my
morbid
jaws
way.
was
radioactive components as a treatment for illnesses. Sounds crazy, right? Still, it was a reality for Eben Byers, the
just
man who drank
radium
radium.
water.
As if to promote itself as being good for Byers' health, it led him down a path of suffering and poor health. First of all, before turning to facts
Yeah,
and
that'd be really
dreadful
funny,
stories, let us discuss a brief history of radium and its properties, which at one time were healing, but at the
I
same time
want
deadly.
this scene from the music video of The Real Slim Shady, but I want that for Phil.
History
I
of
want
radium.
Yes.
1,000 Phils running around.
Radium was first discovered by Marie along with
Just
her husband
snorting
Pierre
in
Curie
stereo.
in 1898 by isolating it from the uranium
All
ore known as
direct,
uraninite
like
in the form
Bigfoot
of radium
calls from the
chloride.
woods.
They announced their discovery just 5 days later at the French Academy of Sciences. In 1910, Marie Curie, along with André Louis Debierne, succeeded in isolating
Oh, shit,
radium in
that's
its metallic
toxified.
form through the electrolysis of radium
Yeah,
chloride.
why am I toxic?
Following this breakthrough, radium began to be produced in larger quantities in countries like Austria, the United States, and Belgium, although global production has always remained small. It captivated both scientists and the public with its glowing properties and rumored health benefits. This element's ability to emit alpha, beta, and gamma radiation positioned it as a
I mean, it
groundbreaking
kind of
tool
makes
in
sense.
medical
'Cause
and
it's
industrial
a
fields.
metal that has a shit ton
In
of
medicine,
stored energy.
radiation therapy
So you would think,
revolutionized
okay, if I
cancer
eat this, I
treatment
get
by
some of that
precisely
energy, right?
targeting and
Yeah,
destroying
that's
You
too much
become
cancer
high
cells,
energy.
offering hope to countless patients.
Which you do.
Additionally,
Yeah,
radium
you do
has
get
been
it.
used in
Your jaw
kills
radiology
you.
to diagnose illnesses and in the sterilization of medical equipment, underscoring its vital role in modern healthcare. However, radium's darker
this,
side
Phil.
emerged when it began appearing in consumer products marketed as cure-alls. Radithor, a tonic with radium added and promoted as a cure-all,
That's
was
awesome.
one
I
such
want that
product.
drink.
Yeah, right.
Bailey
Do you ever
Radium
drink
Laboratories
cocaine
in New
energy
Jersey
drink?
produced
No.
Radithor.
That
William
shit
J. Bailey,
was
who dropped out of
crazy.
Harvard Medical School,
It
created
like
the
hurt
company
your
and pretended
throat
to
to
be a
drink
doctor.
it.
Really?
He sold
Yeah,
Radithor
you're
as a
supposed to
groundbreaking
mimic
treatment, going so far as to
The
call
feeling
it
of doing
for the living
cocaine,
dead.
which is like, why would you want that?
Bailey and his team of chemists
what Worski
believed that
needs
while
to,
high doses of radium were lethal, small, diluted amounts could be beneficial.
To be fair, too, like,
In
I'm gonna laugh at him, but I
Radithor
also
was
like
launched
hope he
across the
figures
United
it out.
States. The supposed benefits were vague, with claims that it enhanced the vital processes of the body. Nevertheless, people flocked to buy it, and doctors eagerly prescribed it.
It's kind of weird seeing modern footage.
How
with
does
this.
radium enter the body?
Yeah.
Ingestion, inhalation, and in rare instances, radiation emissions are the three ways that radium can enter the
This
body.
was in my Has-Whopper
If radium
40-hour
can be
training.
absorbed through the skin, this is unknown. When inhaled radium dust or gas can remain in the lungs for several months
But he's eating
before
that
gradually
smash
entering the
burger tomorrow,
bloodstream
right?
and circulating throughout the body,
I think so.
with some accumulating in the bones. Most of it will be expelled in feces if radium is swallowed,
so
such as through
weird
contaminated
that
water
it's in
or
his
food.
shit.
A small amount may enter the
it's
bloodstream and
poo.
travel to various parts of the body. Some of the ingested radium will be
It's so
excreted daily
wild
through
that like
feces
the
and urine,
reward you
while a
get is you
portion
get
may
to
persist
watch
in the
this
bones
fat
for the
idiot eat a
individual's lifetime.
burger. You guys really
no
want to see?
medical test
It's a
can accurately
reward
measure
for
the
my
amount of
fans.
radium
They get to
exposure
watch
or
me eat
predict
something.
potential health effects.
He was saying
However,
the other day
some
that,
tests
you know,
can detect
zombies
if radium
isn't
has
that
been
good of a
ingested
reward 'cause it
or
only
measure the
rewards
total
3
radioactivity in the
people, as
body.
opposed to Phil eating, which
Furthermore,
rewards
exhale
Yeah,
one
well,
air
person.
3
contains
people
radon,
were the ones who
a
made sure you
byproduct
got
of
the
radium.
goal, so
That's
maybe
true.
you could
These
start
tests
with
are
them.
usually not available at
Then
most
work your way
medical
down the
offices and
list.
require
Dave's
specialist equipment.
last.
In the 1920s,
yeah, poor
affluent
Jade.
entrepreneur Eben Byers succumbed
Jade
to
was telling him to
charms,
uninstall Street
underscoring the
Fighter.
It was
dangers of
pretty
radium use
funny.
without proper supervision.
Honestly, anyone else would have said
Eben
that, they would
Byers.
have gotten yelled at. Oh shit.
Ebenezer McBurney Byers was born
Like, he
on April
actually
12, 1880
ghoulified
in
himself.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, this is crazy.
He was the
man.
son of Alexander Byers, a wealthy industrialist who owned a mill and employed around 2,500 people making wrought iron pipes. Alexander also held numerous
guy
other
did
positions
Jurassic
of
Park.
power, including being
Yeah.
president of a bank and chairman of several companies. Byers was an American socialite, sportsman, and industrialist, known for his achievements in golf and his tragic death due to the effects of
I'm in a mood to
radium-based
call this man a
patent
liar
medicine.
only because I was watching L. Ron Hubbard stuff.
Byers won the U.S. Amateur Golf Championship in 1906
Yeah, I'll bet.
and was also
Yeah, you
recognized
did
as
that.
the champion
I
in
completely believe you, Mr.
1905.
Hubbard.
There he
having
is
previously
receiving
been
his
a
4th
runner-up in
place at Evo
1902 and
trophy.
1903. He was educated at St. Paul's School and Yale College, where he was a member of the Yale Bulldogs golf team. Byers later became chairman of the Girard Iron
That
Company,
looked like a very
established
tough
by his
golf
father,
team.
industrialist Alexander
I
Byers.
thought that was like a rugby team.
Yeah.
In 1927,
I
Byers suffered
thought.
an arm injury from a fall while traveling on a railway sleeping berth.
Man, they say that
To alleviate his
fashion comes
persistent
back in
pain,
cycles.
he was
I've never
advised
seen
to use
anyone wear
Radithor on the
outfits
recommendation
that
of
you
his
see in some of these old
physiotherapist,
pictures.
Charles Clinton Moyer,
Report of the
medicine
week.
made by William J.A. Bailey.
The review
Byers
bra.
quickly became obsessed
Oh,
with
yeah,
the tonic,
yeah, he does.
He
consuming
wears,
up to
like-
3 bottles a day from
I mean, I
December
think it's actually
1927,
80s suits, but
continuing
like
this
he
regimen
looks
for
like he
2
could be
years.
in a black and white picture.
His enthusiasm for Radithor was so intense that he shared it with friends, believing it would boost his vitality and overall well-being.
All right.
More than
Matrix juice.
1,000 bottles were drank by him during his treatment. 1 microgram of mesothorium and 1 microgram of radium, diluted in water, were found in each bottle of Radithor.
I don't know what
Given our
mesothorium
current
is,
knowledge
but
of
that
radiation
sounds pretty
toxicity,
toxic
we can
too.
Yeah, it
conclude that
sounds like
even
it
at
hurt.
levels as low as 10 micrograms, radium can be hazardous. However, he noted
Yeah,
diminishing effects.
micrograms.
So in October 1930, he stopped using it after taking about 1,400 doses.
Holy shit.
He then experienced significant weight loss, headaches, and severe dental issues. In 1931, the Federal Trade Commission requested his testimony regarding Radithor, but Byers, too ill to travel, had his statement taken at home. The lawyer who visited reported that Byers had undergone extensive jawbone removal and severe bone deterioration.
Holy shit, man.
Byers died on March 31st, 1932, at just 51 years old, from complications attributed to radiation poisoning, a term
was
used at the
guzzling
time,
radiation.
though his
Of course
death
he
was caused
died.
by cancers resulting from radium exposure. Radium's danger lies in its ability to mimic calcium, becoming incorporated into bone tissue and
Oh.
emitting harmful radiation that causes irreversible damage to bones and surrounding structures.
Oh, shit.
He had about 36 micrograms of radium in his bones, far exceeding the fatal dose of 2 micrograms. His remains were so radioactive.
The fatal
that he
dose was
buried in
2,
a
and he had
lead-lined coffin.
36 in his
The
bones.
fallout from
Man, what
Byers'
a
tragic
tank.
death led to increased regulation
his
of radioactive
skeleton
substances
is forever
by the Food and Drug Administration,
irradiated.
effectively ending the radioactive patent medicine industry. In 1965, scientists
there's the thing
exhumed
you were
Byers'
talking about
remains for
right there.
research. Food and Drug Administration,
The makeups and creams.
Yeah.
effectively ending the radioactive.
Yeah, they give you that glow.
Look at her,
These are
she's
like
shiny.
what's the first person shooter where you're underwater?
Oh, don't tell me. BioShock.
BioShock. Yeah, these are like BioShock ads.
Yeah. Try what were they called? Peptids or
I
something?
mean, Radithor is that fits right in.
Right.
Like that could just be a thing in there.
Patent medicine industry. In
Get some powers
1965,
or dead.
scientists
One of the two.
exhumed Byers' remains for research, finding them still
Oh my
dangerously radioactive,
God damn.
more so than
That's
expected.
terrifying.
Given radium's long half-life of 1,600 years, Byers' remains will remain hazardous for a considerable time. After the exhumation, Byers was reburied in his lead-lined coffin, continuing to rest in a faint yet perilous glow. When Byers' case came to light, it sparked widespread outrage and concern. The public was
Man, you
alarmed
can't
by the
just
exposure to
guzzle
radium,
radiation
a
anymore because
substance
of
that
this
had been
guy.
marketed as a miracle cure and used in various consumer products. Media coverage played a significant role in bringing the dangers of radium to public attention, highlighting the severe health risks and the tragic consequences for those affected. Stories of suffering and
Oh yeah, that's
negligence
the
were
Radium
widely
Girls
reported,
in New Jersey.
leading to a surge in public
Yeah.
interest and demand
They were
for
the
safer
ones doing the
practices.
watch painting.
The Wall Street Journal marked Mr. Byers'
I'm pretty
death
sure
with a
their jaws
striking
fell
headline.
off as well.
The radium water worked fine until his jaw dropped off. Because of this headline, the tale became one of the most read reports of the time and was eventually included in several other academic papers. Byers' terrible end highlights the need for rigorous testing and regulation and serves as a sobering lesson about the dangers of unbridled scientific zeal. The
There you
radium
go.
How is
business
it
was
sobering
significantly
if I'm
impacted
drunk?
by the close
I'm
examination of
drunk on
Byers' case.
radium gin.
When the risks were made public, the use of radium-based products significantly decreased. The implementation of more stringent
Yeah, no
safety
kidding,
regulations and procedures for the management of radioactive
Stop
materials
licking
was
rocks.
pressured by regulatory organizations. The incident spurred the
Okay.
development of safer alternatives and forced numerous companies to phase out radium from their goods. Radium, while promising in its potential, caused significant harm due to its misuse.
Oh, yeah, that's a shit ton of radium. in
Due
that.
to its widespread use in commonplace products like glow-in-the-dark watch faces and luminescent paints, there have been many reports of radiation poisoning and, in certain circumstances,
Bro, you
the
should
deaths
paint
of
a
unwary
Gundam
customers
with,
and employees. Let's now
glowing
examine another
radiation
moving
paint.
illustration,
Hell yeah, man.
the tragic
See if
tale
you
of the
can
radium
get
girls.
an old file of it.
So it's interesting you brought this up. There is a health hazard going out right now due in the Gundam community. There is a lot of third-party kits you can buy from China. And the thing about it is, in many ways, they're completely justified in buying these third-party kits because Bandai takes forever between print runs, and they also just abandon stuff. So, you go where you can to get these things. Well, apparently there is a couple of models that are toxified. The plastic is toxic, and it's given some concern to the situation because these bootlegs, they can look just like the originals.
Dude.
Pretty
Oh
scary.
yeah, here's the Radium Girls. Let's play this section, and then I think we're good on this video.
Okay.
Catherine Schaub. In the early
So the reason I know
1900s,
about this
during the
is
height of
my
the
dad was
industrial age,
subscribed
factories
to
were
a
booming,
magazine called
and cities
Weird
were the
New
place to
Jersey.
be for anyone
And some of
looking
it
to
was
make a
just
living.
people writing in about like
The Schaub
Bigfoot
family,
and Jersey
German
Devil
immigrants
and
seeking a better life, moved
like
to
alien
America,
encounters.
and among their children
And then
was
they would always
14-year-old
have like
Catherine
photo
Schaub.
shoots of abandoned places.
Catherine
But then
dreamed
there
of
was
becoming
also
a
like
professional writer one day,
more
but her family was
professional
struggling, so she had to drop
articles
out of school
about
and find
like
work. Catherine's friends
shit that
once
had
informed
happened
her about a
historically
brand
in
new,
New
unique
Jersey, and
employment
this
in the
was a
city,
big one.
a watch studio. Catherine was
Did you
intrigued.
did you ever read Weekly World News?
I always leafed through it in the checkout line,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
my grandma had every episode.
That's cool as hell,
Like,
man.
she was subscribed to fucking Weekly World News. So whenever I went to my grandma's house, it was the Bat Boy custody battles and like my personal favorite that like I still remember to this day is gay corpses found in Titanic life ring. And it was just like hugging skeletons in a fucking floating life ring.
Oh man, there was dude, Weekly World News was so brave with the kind of
Weird New Jersey was a little more historical than that.
Okay, so it wasn't quite
like
that.
there were stories of people that were like, I drank 13 beers and the Jersey Devil like swooped down at my car in the Pine Barrens. But like there were more things about like this closed down insane asylum and this is what happened here and here's pictures of all the
That's cool. Okay.
Oh yeah, Sonic. So speaking of like things you learn while on drugs, I had an epiphany one time when I took a lot of acid at like a bonfire party. And we were thinking like somebody said like ooga ooga, get rock. And it's like, yeah, that's been what humanity has done for all of human history. Like cavemen, ooga ooga, get rock, smash, like throwing rocks at shit. Coal is just a rock that burns. And then even like what's a bullet? It's just a rock that gets propelled by another rock really fast. And what's a computer? It's a bunch of rocks that you can run energy through. Like we've never evolved. Like what's nuclear power? Just glowing rocks. Like we never stopped ooga ooga getting rocks. What's gold? Just a rock.
So I know you don't read it, but that's a joke.
Is it really?
Yeah, because
is
about rocks.
I came up with that one on my own.
That's cool.
Well, I mean, with a little help from like a bunch of LSD.
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard understands.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you think rocks are involved in thetans? We got to get his insight.
I'd have to read more about it because I don't
cool.
understand thetans well enough.
It's all bullshit. Don't worry about it.
I don't know.
Watch
Probably.
studio? It wasn't your average factory job. It was mostly young women who worked there, making way more money than at
look
other
at all
jobs.
These hotties.
The task? Painting watch dials with a small brush so that the numbers would glow in the dark.
All right.
To Catherine, this sounded like a dream come true. Easy work and great pay. Ready to go, Catherine excitedly entered the watch studio in Newark, New Jersey on February 1st, 1917.
Yeah, Newark,
she was astounded
baby.
by what she saw when the forewoman gave her a tour of the area. Women worked so fast that their hands were a blur as they comfortably sat at their stations in rows. However, Catherine was more interested in the luminous green paint they were using, which was derived from radium, than she was in the dials. The U.S. Radium Corporation was the top seller of these timepieces.
I agree, Sonic.
Yeah.
Radium was very popular at the time. People were completely enamored with it and thought it had nearly mystical qualities.
And
it wasn't just beautiful.
Ass.
It was incredibly valuable.
We should inject this into our ass.
1 gram of radium was worth $120,000 back then. That's over $2 million today. Working in the watch studio was seen as a glamorous job. Each painter had her own supply of radium paint. The workers mixed powdered radium with water and adhesive, creating a greenish-white substance that glowed in the dark. The company even trademarked the color, calling it undark.
I know that's after
Since radium came in
but
powder
there's
form,
something
it spread
super cool
everywhere
about
when the
having
jars were
something that
opened.
glows.
And over time, it filled the air and settled on the workers.
Yeah, if I was a
making them
kid then,
glow.
like, I would probably, my jaw
Catherine
would
didn't
probably
mind.
fall off.
In fact, she
Because
loved
I
it.
love shit that like glows in the
literally got to
dark.
shine
Like
while
now that
getting paid, and that glow made her
RGBs
feel
are out,
special.
it's like, oh, okay, I'm good.
Catherine was
But like as a
surrounded by
kid, I
other
was
girls her
always
age,
playing
most
with
of whom
like
were
glow
also
sticks
immigrants.
and like Hess
She quickly
trucks that
bonded
lit
with her
up.
coworkers,
Hell yeah.
and
Like
they
I
became
love
her best
shit that
friends.
lit up.
I had a couple of Hot Wheels that had glow in the dark.
Let's talk about the man behind the
Oh,
factory
yeah.
Catherine worked at.
How about the ones
Dr.
where if you
Sabin
put it
von
in
Sochaki.
warm water, it
Yeah.
changes color?
He was the one who
Yeah.
made the undark paint that made the watches glow. Initially, his
Yeah,
goal
but
was
I
to
wonder
make
what
a
happened
little
to those,
extra
though.
money to fund
My
his
dad
medical
still has
research
them
on
somewhere.
radium.
I think
However,
I like
when he
gave
realized
most of
how
my
much more
toys
profitable
away.
it was to sell glow-in-the-dark paint,
Which is the
he
best use
abandoned
for
his
them.
research in favor of building a
It's
business.
like, yeah, let another kid enjoy these.
In his first year, he sold
I
only
have
2,000
drugs
watches,
now.
but by
I don't
1917,
need Buzz
he was selling
Lightyear.
millions annually.
Yeah.
I'm my
Dr.
own
Sabin
Buzz
became
Lightyear.
highly respected for his knowledge of radium and his work ethic.
Get back to the lady's jaws
Magazines
falling
hailed
off.
him as one of the world's greatest scientific minds.
Yeah, we might be past the
In fact, he had
interesting
learned
parts.
much about radium from the famous Marie Curie and her husband Pierre. However, during his time studying with the Curie, but their supervisors reassured them that there was no danger. Saw the glowing paint and even noticed that
Yeah,
some
all
of the
those
women
miscarriages you're
had
having, don't
sores
worry
around
about
their mouths.
those.
But
Oh
their
yeah, your
supervisors
face swell
reassured
up?
them
Nah,
that there
you're
was
good.
no danger.
Look, it's probably just something in the
So
air.
in 1918,
So they
Catherine
were-
continued working at the factory.
Oh, you can see it.
enjoying her
That one
job,
lady, they're
even as
putting
her
the
skin
brush
started
in
to
their
break out
mouth
in
to
what
like
she assumed were
get the
regular
bristles
teenage
pointed
pimples.
again.
But things were about to take a dark turn.
Like I think you can inhale
As
it a little bit,
15-year-old,
but like
Catherine chalked her acne up to hormones. But other
it's like
strange symptoms were
ingesting
happening
it is
around the
what
factory.
really fucks you up.
Absolutely.
Some of the girls developed stiff necks, sores, and rashes, while others experienced back problems. It seemed like every girl had some
that
mysterious
lady's only
health issue.
19.
Catherine, growing concerned, went to see a doctor. After an exam, the doctor reassured her that her pimples were
probably take
probably
some
just due to
radium.
hormones. But then, his
Yeah,
tone
put some
changed.
radium on your skin. It'll
He
be
asked
fine.
where she worked, and when Catherine told him, the doctor explained that her blood had changed. The symptoms resembled a disease known as
Holy
phossy
shit.
jaw, caused by phosphorus poisoning, which could lead to your entire jaw falling off.
Holy crap, man.
Naturally,
The human body
Catherine
is
freaked out and
terrifying.
told her friends at work, setting off a panic. The women demanded answers, asking if there was phosphorus in the paint or if radium was dangerous. The supervisors told them to relax, insisting it was just hormones. Demand for these watches skyrocketed, especially after soldiers returned home with these fashionable timepieces. The company grew, but to meet the demand, they cut half the workforce and made those who remained work 7
Oh,
days
yeah,
a
just
week.
lick it a little bit. Good to go.
Yeah.
Catherine, now 16, started feeling the
I
effects
just
of the
wouldn't
increased
see
workload.
ever licking a
Her
paintbrush.
legs ached, she was constantly
Yep.
tired, and she was getting sick more often.
I hate when people
Finally,
count money
in
and like
1920,
lick their
Catherine
thumb.
quit.
Yeah, it's gross.
And it's like
hoping
you're
to
gonna
move
hand
on
this
with
to
her
me
life.
now? Like, come
Other
on.
people also perished from similar exposure. Amelia Maggia. Another known victim was Amelia, Molly, Maggia, who was born on December 21st, 1896, in Orange, Essex County, New Jersey,
It like
US.
makes it like
She served at the
I know
Radium
it's just
Luminous
footage
Materials
of like a
Corporation
random
and
baby,
later
but it
United
like
States
makes it
Radium
like
Corporation in
way
Orange, New
more
Jersey.
sad.
Yes.
She was the middle child among 7 sisters
These
in the
chicks
Maggia
are like
family.
16 and
The
they're
given
about
names
to
of the
die.
girls are Louise, Clara, Albina,
That's tragic,
Molly,
man. They had the whole
Quinta,
lives out of
Irma,
them.
and Josephine. Albina, Molly, Quinta, and Irma imported from Italy, and all 4 of them worked at a radium dial factory. Molly was one of the best painters of dials, and yet she had a terrible price to pay for her talents. In the early 1920s,
He basically
the
did
effects
also
of
just
radium
kill a
exposure
bunch
were
of
not
artists.
considered dangerous, and the substance was used
Yeah.
in factories by women. The young women, including Molly, liked the light coming from radium on their clothes and also applied it on their nails and the dress buttons.
Hell yeah!
However, the initial feelings did not last long, and
Full
signs
face,
of
huh?
long-term
Must have messed up
radiation
dinner
sickness
again. Here's
soon
an ice
started to
pack and a
manifest.
pack of smokes.
Oh
These symptoms
man.
included
Probably,
Radium flavored.
anemia,
there probably
lesions,
was a
and
few
sores.
doctors that said that.
The first of the
You can't
radium
just put
dial
on some
painters to die of
makeup, no one will
radiation
know.
poisoning was Amelia Maggia. The woman had been employed in the factory for close to 10 years.
There
and
was another
recognized for
one.
her hard-working
I think
nature.
that one was in Weird New
And
Jersey
then
as well,
her
where
health problems started to worsen
some
when she
kids
first
were
went to the doctor
playing
due to
in the
toothache.
woods. They found
After a
an
tooth
abandoned
extraction, there was
factory,
still pain in her
and
jaw.
there were giant vats
On a
of
normal
liquid
checkup one
mercury
day,
in
she
there.
found out that
Oh,
the lower
shit.
jaw
So what
and
did
the
they do
tissue
with that?
adjacent to the
Naturally,
jawbone
they put
was
it all over
severely
their teeth.
damaged and had undergone radiation-induced necrosis.
And like all over their faces.
As for Amelia,
yeah.
her health deteriorated with severe anemia, lesions, and infections. She died at the age of only 25 years on
What was
September
that
12,
sound effect?
1922.
I'm
because
bringing
of
up
a
those
cut
other
of the
videos.
jugular
That was a
vein,
PlayStation.
Oh,
she
okay,
died
okay.
bleeding in front of her family. Unfortunately, she
I
died.
thought they put
This
that
could be
into
a
like
tool.
accent
They blamed
her
it on
death,
syphilis.
and it's
Yeah,
like,
they-
oh, that's
not the
kind of
true
rude.
Her burial was
Radium-powered
conducted at
PlayStation
Rosedale
sound as you
Cemetery
die.
in Montclair, Essex County in New Jersey, USA. Known as the Radium Girls, these young ladies
All right,
were
I think-
employed in
I think-
factories at the
think we
beginning
get
of the
it.
20th century.
Yeah, we got the
All
gist.
right, all right. But yeah, radiation's a horrible thing, and L. Ron Hubbard knows all about it.
Yep.
Kind of smart.
Yeah,
like
too
that.
bad he was born too late
Yeah.
to warn them.
We built a gas-powered PC or do you want to watch the Destiny Schizo arc?
Do we have time to watch both?
Well, yeah, but which one do you want first?
I don't care.
Okay. Destiny Schizo arc then.
Or there's something like moving against me that I haven't ever really been cognizant of before.
Now this video obviously has editing to
I haven't
make it
put together all of this in any formal
more
sense. It's just been
intense.
bouncing around my head.
I haven't
So,
watched
and
the
I'm not going
original
to.
because you couldn't pay
I'm
me
not
to
going
watch
to because I don't even know
Destiny
if I should.
Raw.
For a variety of reasons that I'm not going to get into.
I used to think I respected him, but like.
So, for example, there were dozens of different accounts that were spamming doxes.
A goofball. He's just like
across
completely
Twitter,
toxified.
And these accounts were out for over 48 hours.
I never watched most of these dudes.
And I reported them, and
He
nothing.
just didn't
like,
ever speak
literally
to my
48
interest
hours.
of
His
guys
contract
who
came
didn't
He's a
know
like
everything,
Elon,
telling me
for
stuff.
some reason, catches
fairly
my
respectable.
tweet, or catches a
Like
tweet
you might
about me
consider
from
him
not
like
even a
the
large account,
dirtbag left,
and my account ends up getting demonetized on Twitter.
which like
in, like,
isn't
2
an
hours.
insult. That's like
I
a.
don't
It's
know
like
why
saying intellectual
billionaire Elon
dark
Musk
web.
is like catching the attention
He's
of my
like
Twitter account, and it's like seems
a
to be
leftist who
putting
calls
his thumb on
people
the scale.
retarded.
That's just very strange to me.
But when he's not doing well in a debate,
Something
he
that I
spurgs
noticed
so hard.
that was very strange.
Oh, it's
if you
too
were in chat, you
loud. We're
noticed this.
getting feedback.
Oh, okay.
That there are a ton of these accounts they're just bots. But
Yeah,
like,
the
everybody always
scary
says that, like, a lot of
music
Twitter
is
botted, right, and I'm like, okay, I'm sure they're a bunch of like random whatever fucking
a
accounts.
little loud
But I've
on
never
the
really like
bass
quantified
side.
it before or thought about it before. But there are so many of these accounts. They all would talk in a certain type of manner, and some of them they're generally.
Yeah, remember he's
they
smarter
respond
than
to
you, and he
themselves,
hasn't
they
heard
build
of
engagement,
bots.
They look real. So many of their accounts, if you scroll through their media, they end up like looking like this. They post like the same image over and over and over and over and over again.
Pretty spooky, isn't it?
100%
Do it at the Wailing Wall, I think.
And you just have to see who responds to them and who they respond to. Here's an account. This guy here, this is not
That's a
real
wrong
person.
Yeah, that's definitely a real
This is not
account
a real
for
human
sure.
being. This picture, this is not real. This person is not. This is not a real person. Okay, this is not a. This is not a real person, right? But
Some of the
you
accounts are
scroll
so
through his
funny.
account, like you will find him like, and other people they talk to each other. Oh, this account. We went through this one. This account. This guy. This is not a real account. Okay.
Of course
Yeah,
not.
with the watermelon
guy
flag.
tweets at
Yeah,
me.
I would assume it's
Oh,
not.
look, and you can see on the pictures. Look, they do the thing where they post. They'll post the same picture like over and over again. So like we can click through. Oh, he talks to Jeffrey again. Oh wait, are all of his replies to Jeffrey? They might all be. All of his
They're
replies might
talking
be to
about the
Jeffrey. Oh, this
vaccine.
A. O'Connell guy or whatever. Holy banger,
Hater?
Jeff.
Oh,
Hater, yeah.
By
Definitely a
$5
serious
tweet.
person.
Look at the face of
This
hate.
is not a real person.
That's like a Mitch
Trump
McConnell
2004. What the f is
Yeah,
that?
kinda.
slightly changed face.
Purebred American alpha male.
Purebred.
The left's
The
worst
left's
nightmare.
worst
What?
nightmare.
Now
This
he's still on
dude.
from the
When
dentist 2
leftists
hours
go to
ago.
sleep,
It
they
might
dream
be
of
over
this
for me.
guy.
What? This isn't a real
He gives
account.
me
This
like
is not a real
the, you know, the
person,
picture
okay?
of the cockmongler.
I haven't been to the liberal
No.
dentist
It
It was
since
like
9/11. That
it's
was
just
the
this dude with
power
like a
needed. Is
big
this a
wide
real
smile
account?
that was always posted on 4chan. Yeah, boob handler
Okay, no,
is that guy's
I
tag.
spent hours last night. Going through these fucking accounts. Okay, I don't think any
Exactly,
of these are
Big Matty.
real. I don't think any of these people are
Yeah.
real. Okay, and
Yeah, they're not, dude.
they talk about sports. They look sophisticated. Okay, they do. I don't think this is a real person. I don't think it's a real person.
This man might not be real.
I don't.
The
think so.
editing is so good.
This guy.
That's Bob
this guy
Chandler.
Is not real. He's not
Yeah,
real.
and this dude with the
No better way to
fucking
start
watermelon
today, okay?
flag, dude. Come on.
This is a white foot. This is not real. And you can find this was posted in 2024. Okay, on.
Oh shit, there's a
on
toe
Twitter,
in frame.
okay?
That's kind of weird.
This came from Reddit. This is a Reddit.
Yeah, and I'm pretty
account
sure it's a
10 years ago.
white toe.
All right, this guy. This is not a real person. All right, he's not real. This is not a
This
real
man
person.
might not be real.
But I'm pretty
Alert
sure that
authorities
you look
if
at,
you've seen this man.
Yeah, this
But then
like
I'm
musical
looking at
track
this, I'm like-
actually I was listening to this while I was like walking
Is this
around,
actually a bot replying?
like
to me?
walking around the neighborhood, and I was like a little on
Relatively
edge.
Yeah, it is
sophisticated
pretty
cuck jokes at me?
spookerific. Is this what DSP hears in his head all the time?
I'm not sure. Okay,
This is
so
why he's always tense.
Yeah, every time he's auditing a tip.
somebody links a YouTube video of this guy.
You real?
My name is Egon Chalakian.
He's a hater.
I am an intelligence educator. I prepare intelligence personnel for clandestine service. The focus of my career has been centered on the intelligence component of national security.
It is pretty spooky that I don't
This is a
think
3.5
this is an
hour
actual like AI video, and that's not a person.
Yeah,
With a
But
couple
it
of
really looks
sometimes
like a
strange
person.
audio glitches.
it is. It is very spooky. Because
I try to Google
I mean,
around.
it's a very real fear. It's definitely a real fear now. Is that we
Yeah,
can
and we're like
create
right
this.
on the precipice. Actually, it's probably already happening a little bit.
Mhm.
It just hasn't been used in like a major psyop yet.
No, not yet. And
Although maybe it has.
and AI
don't
just
know.
gets smarter and smarter and smarter. And
Mhm.
eventually they're going to be
And
able to
it
replicate us.
reads the comments saying what you call out to make it fake, like the pictures in the background, the hands looking off, like the way people's necks move, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we can fix that.
Yes.
We just need a slightly more powerful computer.
The AI videos that I used to see a couple years ago, I always thought they looked really, really dumb, and I didn't see how it was ever going to be possible that we could do better than that. But like the N64, that was just the start, man. Some of these
Yeah, and
AI videos
not
are
to be
terrifying.
political, but imagine like they could make an AI version of Dr. Fauci, someone who plays that role. That would be, you could get a lot of people to believe that, and like they don't have to do like campaign tours. You don't have to ever meet them in real life. They just Skype in on a congressional hearing.
Yeah, for real.
Nobody ever has to meet them. And there's pictures of their family in the background. How could you say they're not real?
Yeah, there's
As
watermelon.
a matter of fact, that's fake news. That's disinformation.
Have you played Metal Gear Solid 2?
Yeah.
All right, it's like that, man.
It is. Yeah, it is like that. Yep.
Anyone who hasn't played Metal Gear Solid 2, you have no reason not to. Metal Gear Solid 2 is one of the most terrifying, prophetic games of all time.
And my favorite part is when you're actually Snake, like the ship.
Yeah.
That's like, I always liked that way more than the raid and stuff, but the story was wild.
Yeah. The part there at the end where the colonel's talking to you, and that had some spooky ass music to go along with
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That shit was scary. Because it wasn't as scary of outright terror, it was a scary of implication, which to me is infinitely more horrifying.
And what was I, 12 when that came out? So, like, yeah.
I didn't
Actually,
get
if
when
it
I
came
first
out
played
now, it would probably have more of an effect.
Yeah, I didn't really get it when I first played it.
Now that I understand, like, well, not that I'm like an expert on geopolitics, but I know what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, we have AI DSP
Oh, yes.
audio already.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I've tried doing it. It's whenever I tried doing it, it was really, really hard because in a weird way, DSP kind of defeats AI. And the reason why he
this
defeats
kid is absurd.
Hmm?
Is that why?
he has so many weird little things that he does that the AI had a hard time replicating. And just little things like, for example, the way he would pitch his words, the AI couldn't do it because the AI assumed people pitch and articulate their words at an even rhythm. So it would say something like, donations would help more than anything right now. As you guys can see, the donations are quite low, and I would really use some tips right now. And no, that's not how DSP sounds. So you guys might have noticed that the tips, they're low. Yeah, they're low, and I really need you guys up. AI can't do it for some reason. It really struggles with that.
There's this weird, like, he has like a weird Connecticut accent combined with mush mouth, gin brain, and like Valley Girl, like vocal fry.
Yes.
And it's a very strange, like, I don't think I've ever heard another person actually speak the way he does.
No, he is the only man with his accent.
Plus all the like mispronunciations, like they don't even make sense.
His use of buzzwords is very interesting. I don't hear a lot of people out in the wild use buzzwords. Not really. DSP speaks in buzzwords. It's
He's
chill,
a Twitter
it's meaningful.
denizen.
Yeah.
So that was like he was saying recently, he's like, I don't even have time to post on my own Twitter account. And it's like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, it takes.
And also, you do post on your own Twitter account. Like, what are you talking about?
You're retarded, Phil.
You use Twitter regularly, and like, not to mention that, but you have all the time in the world. Like, you have so much time. You don't do anything.
He's got to rotate his wife, I suppose.
Information about this guy, and we're looking for like 20 minutes in chat. Okay, I can't find anything. Like, apparently he has really strong credentials. Okay, he's got a very unique name. He's got very strong credentials, but I can't actually find good information about
Colonel.
like,
I never met
who
you.
it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Who is this person?
Yeah, I like weirdly didn't want to spoil it, but it's like the game's been out for like
100%.
20 years,
like
so
there's a way that they type.
Yeah, it's true. I really
However,
don't see why people haven't played it. It's so
this is
damn
happening last night.
And it's
to be fair, if I was
happening
born after
last
it
night.
came out, I
This
might
is
have missed it.
happening off stream in my chat room.
And like, I never played a single Final Fantasy,
And as
and
we're
it makes
talking
no
about
sense
this,
why I didn't.
I played
out of
maybe
nowhere,
15 minutes of 7.
an account shows up.
This is World of Warcraft.
Holy crap.
There's no classes because there's archetypes instead. An archetype is a fusion of 2 or more classes.
How do I
like
skip this shit? Get out of here.
I don't know.
So,
oh no, Cyber Pepes.
This account shows up in chat. The name is net_helpmessage_2221. And he says, are people saying this Chilokian guy isn't real?
What is that theory called? The dead internet theory? Have you heard of that one?
Yes, this is related to that,
Okay.
like, greatly.
In
Yeah.
a court document that looks like from a case involving the guy, dude looks unhinged in it.
All right, is it the dude Egon or whatever his name
And
is?
then he tags Cyber Vegan, who's helping me
Yeah.
look at things, and then he tags me with the court document. Okay? Account was created.
And he's like,
minutes before
what?
typing this
This
message in
account was
chat.
created right
No
now?
smurfs, no
Is
other
that a real
IP address,
person?
no other messages in chat ever.
Guy was really inspired
This
to make
is
an
at,
account
like,
right now.
I think like 3 a.m.
Also, Destiny's like Adderall jaw makes
So,
like my
I
jaw
geolocate the IP
uncomfortable.
address for this account. The account is
The
from
way it shakes
Wisconsin.
back and forth like
His
that.
jaw goes back and forth with
Wisconsin.
every word.
And I look at what it used to authenticate on my website.
And I'm not gonna like shame people for
Registered with
using
the
their
email
medicine, but I like can't unsee it.
4-destiny13337@gmail.com. And then
The chat's just
what's even
filled with
weirder
Pepes.
is you open this court case. I
Wait,
don't
and
know
nail
what the
biting, was
fuck
there a
I'm
black
looking at.
person
I
on
only
the
read, like,
screen?
the first page, but so
There's one in the
I don't know
background.
if this proves, I don't even know what this proves.
Oh, actually,
okay?
I think that
So, United
there was
States
that one guy.
District Court
With the watermelon
for
flag?
District
The
of Massachusetts,
watermelon.
the federal court
I
case.
hope that's actually
And
what
it's
that
the
is, and
guy,
I'm not
the
just being
Elon
like,
It does
Musk
have the same
gun
color
sensitive.
scheme. So, yeah.
versus
That like might be a
FBI,
flag of a country.
the state of
I'm just an
Massachusetts.
asshole, but
No, I'm with
It's
you.
all the
I think
wrong
that it's
font for
intentional.
court documents. Yeah, I noticed that the state was misspelled up here. Like, is this even a real court case? How would they get it on the official site? I don't know.
4chan routed my brain.
Info.gov, right? I want to know if this guy is real. This guy might be real. I just want to know if this guy is real. Okay.
He
I
has
just
the
wanna know
same
if this
facial
guy's real.
expression at all times. I don't think he's
That's
real.
all I want to know.
Hello,
No.
my name is Egon Chilak.
Or is there?
Also,
a guy
his
with
name
this
is
name
Aegon
that this-
Chalakian.
and this is like a bot that stole his identity.
And like,
that's what I
look
just
at
wanna-
his
that's what I'm- that's what
credentials,
I'm-
dude.
okay.
Lobbyists
Egon
for the
Chalakian
for
am a
Congress and
qualified
shit. Like, you could
particle
look up if he's
affiliated
real.
with the preeminent CERN particle physics laboratory.
Oh, and he works at
I
CERN
retain
too.
a very active
Oh man, he might be an alien.
Wait,
He's an other
what, wait,
form.
what did he just say?
Yeah, Skinwalker.
Wait, sorry, hold on. We're getting
No,
so
Drazi.
sidetracked. But
It's also, I don't know enough about Destiny, but like, he has a rifle in his background. I thought he like didn't like guns. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that.
Discrediting Elantra is equivalent. Outspent on discrediting Elantra is equivalent to the cost of a
He's glitching.
Right. He had to buffer there for a second.
He's like one
Wait,
of the
you're
dudes from
right.
They Live.
Yeah.
Wait, why does he have 2 clip-on mics?
That's what tipped you off?
One for backup, maybe?
It's so you can hear him more clearly.
Wait.
I don't know how edited this is to
Maybe.
make him look more crazy, but like, he seems pretty crazy.
Yeah, this
Bro,
seems unhinged.
My name is Egon Chalakian. I am a part.
This is 10 months ago. Wait.
I feel
wait,
like
so
the trees in
is
the
he real?
background
Is
are
it real?
moving a little weird
Look at
too.
the background pictures.
That looks like Nick Cage.
Well, shit.
Yeah, he
Faceless
certainly
people.
has not lifted a weight. Yeah.
Wait.
This is kind of spooky. I'm glad I'm not
It
high
is.
while
I
watching
believe
this.
I'm
I would have
wrong
freaked
myself.
out.
I know. Yeah.
Maybe it's just low resolution?
Shadow Men.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at
Blurry
that lady's
face. Oh, he
face.
drunk radium.
Yeah, right?
Bro, I'm losing my mind.
Let me see
What
if I
is
can find
this?
this clip.
That
Look
looks
at the
like
book
Elon
names.
Musk with a catering tray.
It might be.
They don't have names. They don't have any names.
This is like the music that would get you in fear.
Yes. I really like this music. Is there any way I can just figure out who's...
Dead internet theory. It's right there in the fucking channel.
So here you go. Here's
yeah,
your
there you
music.
go.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal that shit.
Not gonna listen to that. I'll bug out.
I think I'm gonna listen to it while I'm
They
jogging.
don't have any names.
Just be like so feral.
Nothing looks right in this.
I see a woman walking alone at night.
Is he
No,
posing for a
I'm the one who's
picture?
scared.
Yeah.
What is this? It's
What's wrong with his arm?
It's very long.
What is photo on his website? The real photo. Wait, are these hands real?
No.
I don't know what I'm
You
I don't even know
can't
what's- I don't
twist
know
your
what's happening.
finger like that.
Wait, the women's faces are at the exact same angle. People are saying it's like the exact same face. Is it though?
Oh man, this is
Pretty close.
spookerific, man. Now this would be a perfect time for a jump scare.
No. Hold on.
I promise that there's not.
No.
Holy shit, it's the same face! Oh my god, I'm getting really scared.
It is fake.
Looks even scarier doubled up like that.
Alright, that's it. Getting my piece, I'm gonna start shooting up my computer.
Yeah, get the flamethrower.
I'm trying not to go full schizo on this. I feel like I'm leaning
I
into
kinda
something
don't
right
blame
now
you,
that,
dude.
like, you're not supposed to touch or that you're not supposed to lean into.
What is reality though?
This
Well, the
kinda feels
people
like
in
a
his
joke
chat
to
are
say.
saying, like, stop digging, they'll come for
I'm
us
not
all.
suicidal, obviously. Never been suicidal.
You're
Never
fine,
caused a
man.
suicide. Just as a
Like, you can tell he hasn't spent
is a
enough
thing
time on
for-
4chan or, like, Reddit when it was good.
I don't think that would ever be relevant for anything, but okay.
Man, I hate Reddit.
I love it, and hopefully I'll be back.
I've heard you
Should be
can
back
still
tomorrow.
get to good parts, but you have to, like, know where to go already. Like, you won't stumble onto them.
Yeah, that was a great video, man.
It is, yeah, and that came up as, like, a random recommendation on autoplay for me.
That was
So
cool.
I'm watching the right things. Yeah, AI-induced psychosis.
Shit, man.
Shout out this channel, too.
Yeah, this is Data Mosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
appears that it's
I've only seen this video by him. That one with the eyes was a... he just makes videos about Destiny with spooky overlays.
Let's see it. Okay,
Right on.
let's see Death Grips.
They say anyone.
All right. So it's Destiny in an asylum. That's the
The
entire
Dark
channel.
MAGA one has Elon Musk with the crown of thorns.
School once and so bloody he had to go to the hospital.
Becoming multi-planet.
Where's the crazy part?
Maybe more of the landmass absorbed by water. The vast majority of scientists, like 97 or 98%, basically everyone who...
Get ready to leave, especially quickly if they're criminals. Get ready to leave because you're going to be going out real. Going to have a wall. Remember that. Fight. Take off.
Man, it wasn't quite the schizo that I was expecting.
John Oliver, current year, man.
Yeah, there you go. It's a Data Mosh. Very, very interesting video, and I love this music.
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube banning ad block?
There it is.
Yeah, that's pretty spooky. The women's faces are at the exact same angle.
Everybody flooded in there.
They don't have any names. 2 clips up. Oh man, that's so perfect. I love when that happens. That happens a lot with okay, I'm bringing up every single stream. It happens all the time in JoJo because the stands are named after different songs or bands. So, for example, they have a stand called Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Well, what always happens is whenever a new stand is introduced, a shit ton of comments get posted on the song that it's named after.
Yeah. So there was that song that Trump used in 2016 that like, I'm so high I could never come down. Dun, 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 dun. And if you go to the comments of that song, it's like, God damn. Because like the band didn't endorse that. They were like, how dare he use our song? And yeah, like everyone is like, who came back for the first time since 2016?
But
The
no,
10-hour version is better.
I listen to this song whenever I participate in a horse race. Yeah, JoJo references. Song is so good it came from an alternate universe. Oh my goodness. My disabled friend in a wheelchair stood up listening to this. Then he went on a horse race across America. Yeah, so this is all references to part 7.
Wait, wheelchair and horse?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there is some DSP references as well.
That's kind of crazy that like a song that's I mean I get like why would people be commenting on a song from like the 80s, but like AC/DC is pretty major and the comments have been taken over by anime fans.
It's been completely hijacked. Cool. Oh man. All right, so let's see this gas-powered PC.
Yeah.
Disaster. Okay, ignition.
How long is it?
1.
It's about 16
ignition,
minutes.
Number 2.
All right, that's fine.
The key.
I was gonna say like I watched the whole thing because I'm a fucking nerd, but like I don't know if the whole thing is super interesting.
I love it. I love mechanical stuff.
Yeah, look at that. Look how
also
dumb
this guy is called
naive
basically
I was to
homeless,
think I
but
would
he's
just take a
clearly
mini
rich as
V8
fuck.
engine and just on the back of a gaming
Like
PC.
he has
And
like
the
a
power
workshop
Why?
studio.
Because
in
I
his
want my
house.
gaming PC to have a gas pedal. I want to tell my buddies I can't game with them because I lost my keys. I want to be clutching a 1v5 and then run out of gas. You know why? You know
He has
why?
such a weird face.
This was attempt number
He
1
does.
of like
It
50.
is-
I don't upload.
He
this.
looks
I'm
like
gonna cry.
he looks like the psh guy. Ed Bestmaster. He looks a lot like him. The guy at the furniture store.
Sponsored by Micro Center.
He looks like a Pixar character. He's
Ooh,
got a
sponsored by
16,
Micro
I'd
Center
saved
too.
about $3,000
Shamelessly a giant
dishwasher
fan
money.
of them.
Me too.
And I wanted to go fast. I watch a little Need for Speed. I know how to drift, obviously. So with my $3,000, I had to make the decision of what vehicle to purchase. Now, being that I wanted to go real fast, I thought I'll buy this crappy little BMW, and then I'll just slap a turbo on there with my next paycheck. The problem
I could definitely see
I was
myself
really
doing
dumb.
it. Though.
I don't know if that ever changed. And in combination with that, I didn't know anything about
Like, I can't hook this thing up. I'll just
I
give
didn't
me
even
the
know
thing.
who to ask. It's like $6,000, sometimes even more. The other kids, with their $3,000 of dishwasher money, bought an American V8.
He looks like
might
he's in the
make
asylum.
the comparison.
Yeah.
The crappy
Well, she's here with
V8
us.
vehicle is going to be faster than the crappy import vehicle. We pull up to a red light. We do a little, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? You want to race?
Reddit are good places.
And then we
Okay.
floor it.
I don't like Reddit
always
because it's never
lost.
helpful to me.
It tormented me.
I'll ask something like, "Hey,
So
when
I
does this
take
paint dry
10,000
enough that I can
hamsters,
put decals on
and their
it?"
hamster
And
wheel
people will
has a
respond
little
with,
motor on it.
I don't like that
And
paint.
as they spin it, the
You
hamsters
might want to turn
power
the video
a
down a little
gaming
bit.
PC.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure how the audio balance is on the stream, but like it's
10,000
pretty
is a
loud
video.
on my end.
All right,
What
I
I'm
got you.
actually doing is the gas.
I used to like Reddit a lot when it
also
was
known as Electricity Genius Man.
like I spend a lot of time on like the weed, trees one, and like some video game ones, and then a lot of them got shut down. And now I heard it's gotten better like now
Understand how
since
I might
the
power a gaming PC
since the
with gas.
Jannies took over, and now they've lost a little power.
No way.
Uh-huh.
It actually runs on gasoline?
Yeah.
Without plugging it into the wall, feed it
I've
some
never
gas,
fucked with
get the gas
8chan.
engine up and running,
And the
then
only
spins the
thing I'll do on
alternator, and then goes
4chan
into the
now
12
is
volt power supply, powers the
I
gaming
read the
PC. Does it
paranormal
sound even
board.
like
possible
when
to
I'm
you,
like
or-
going to sleep.
Yes, the thing is that
Because like ghost stories and Bigfoot stories will never get old for me.
You said lots of
Okay,
scary
I'm gonna bring it
things.
up for the third time. Did Araki, the writer of JoJo, he does these little author notes, and they're really funny. I think you would enjoy them. He, because other authors are very annoying with how they describe themselves. You got Stephen King's obnoxious.
So you could make me watch JoJo if you get on while I'm gaming on a Discord and share your screen.
Okay, I could do.
I'll watch it passively.
It's I do think you would enjoy it. I do think you'd like it. But the dude Araki, he does these little author notes, and they'll be the most mundane, trivial shit, but also weirdly deep at times. For example, one of his one time he said, "Do you guys ever have those plastic wraps inside the little box, and you tear it off and you can wrap around something? If you ever get it stuck together where you can't peel it off, you might as well that's the end of life." And then he prints that on his book. I'm like, what the hell is this guy even talking about?
I don't even know what those little plastic wrap. What is he talking about?
He's talking about saran wrap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just says that your life is over if it gets too stuck together.
Right.
He did have a ghost story. He encountered a ghost, and he wrote about it one time. And it's probably my favorite ghost story. He said that he was on some trip, and he stopped at this inn or whatever, and he tried to go to bed, and as he was going to sleep, a ghost formed in his room, and it was this woman. And he looked at it and said, "I'm too tired for this," and turned around to go back to sleep. And he said the ghost looked super sad.
That's a common thing.
Oh man.
Because it's like when you're in that between wake and sleep, that's when like you can see through the veil, and a lot of people are just like, I'm not dealing with this right now.
Just sleepy.
Yep.
He's funny as hell.
And that's like people will say with ghost stories, it's like, I drank 5 beers and smoked a joint, stopped reading there. And it's like, well, no, but like if you believe in spirits, like that you're weakening the veil by basically getting fucked up. So like, yeah, that's when you can see things that you normally couldn't, is when you're in an altered state. So like, I don't know. I enjoy them. I don't necessarily believe a lot of ghost stories. Like I went to the Shining Hotel, and like it's certainly spooky, and like I did feel like it's like, okay, this place probably is haunted, but like, whatever, like everybody wants to have a story, so they'll say whatever. But like, I don't know, like I feel like there are some places, and I've been in people's houses where I was like, that room in the basement, like that's haunted, right? And they were like, how did you know? And it's like, well, because it's a dark room with the water heater in it. Like, of course it's haunted.
Ghosts go there,
but
man.
like,
They chill there.
Turns out it is, yeah. And like, it's always when you live in like the older places. So like Europe, definitely hauntings all over the place because there's like thousands of years of history.
Yeah.
The US, like, I feel like the newer places, like the West Coast, doesn't have it as much. But like in the East Coast, it's like, dude, like the Revolutionary War was fought there. There's ghosts. And even beyond that, like the Native Americans, like they believed in ghosts, and those ghosts are hanging around.
Oh, definitely. I don't really believe in ghosts. And I think it's only because it's not so much that it's some sort of Neil deGrasse Tyson, ghosts would not be possible, but not that.
Get on the mic, Neil, you bitch.
But it's more that I have too many dumb questions that don't have answers. Like, are ghosts bound by gravity? Do ghosts, why are they wearing clothing? Does their clothes have a spirit too? So I asked so many of these dumb questions that I don't know. I want to believe though. I'm like the Mulder poster.
My personal theory is that it's like residual energy, like a recording.
Yeah.
Like a recording of like some high emotion event.
Okay.
But I don't really know. And like people have stories of like poltergeists fucking with them. So like I don't really know how you explain that.
I want DSP to have a poltergeist. That shit would be so damn funny.
That would be great.
You turn on the stream and DSP's floating through the air and there's green slime coming down the walls. You guys might have noticed some odd activities around here lately. Cat walks in, her head spins around, and she leaves.
The first sign is that the tips page is malfunctioning.
Oh man,
it's like the ghost of Christmas Future.
So there's
fucking with his money.
There's a sequence in I have to find the clip, but because I think you'd find it really funny. In Super Best Friends, they were doing their Halloween thing. They used to do this thing where every October they would play just a bunch of spooky games and then chop them up into maybe 15-minute videos. But Matt was saying,
did they fuck around in the fucking intro area for 45 minutes and then play the game for 3 minutes?
When they did, it was funny. if you ever get the chance, watch them. They are DSP as DSP describes himself.
I have checked them out a little bit.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
And I get it.
Yeah, it is kind of an acquired humor, but there's one where he's talking about Matt is saying, I want Wooly to be super fucking haunted. And and he just kind of leaves it at that, and then Pat says, what do you mean by that? And he says, I want him to be haunted by 19 ghosts at once. I want his couch to be sliding up the wall as it's on fire as his skeleton is screaming.
And like, I'm going to put it this way, like, I'm not going to say I 100% believe in ghosts, but I'm not going to tempt fate. I'm not playing with Ouija boards, and I'm not going to abandon insane asylums.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, I would like to find an abandoned neighborhood with everything still left in the houses, because that would be awesome. And I have found buildings in the woods that I've gone into. But if I knew it was like a place that's definitely haunted, I'm staying out.
Oh, hell yeah. Good idea. I want Phil to be super fucking haunted.
Yeah.
Lithium batteries because they'll blow up in your face.
You said blow up twice now, and now I'm concerned.
Full bridge rectifier.
But
Build
after
the PC.
discussion, I was confident that I kind of knew what to do.
I don't know exactly how much current is your PC drawing, like maximum.
It's a lot.
My laptop, close to 20 volts and 5 amps.
I need to buy a
something,
power
so it's like
source. My
say
wife's
100
building a
watts
PC.
maximum.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a lot more than 100 watts.
'Cause I gotta go fast.
Luckily, once again, this is sponsored by Micro Center, so I'm gonna tell you about them later. I will say real quick though, they are finally opening new stores. So, new locations.
Dude, Micro Center kicks ass, right?
They really do, dude. And I think they say it in this video, but like, if you go to Micro Center and say, I have a $1,200 budget and I want to play Call of Duty at like 80 frames per second, they will not lead you astray.
No, they're cool.
Like, they will help you buy your parts. I wouldn't recommend paying for them to assemble your build though,
And inside of it,
because it takes a really long time.
Most poggers.
Yeah, I've got a friend who does it for me.
Yeah, and like, you can also like,
we're installing on the front of the
I would
vehicle
assume there's people in your Discord. There's definitely people in Detractor Beam's Discord.
G-Skills 6000
Like, I don't want to like
DDR5.
get people bothered with tech questions, but like,
everything, of course,
there are people in there that will get on a VC with you and tell you how to troubleshoot.
Oh yeah.
Or just like answer
Micro Center has
questions.
a
You
maker
got some
section
good
with
ass
all
experts in
kinds of
this
stuff,
community.
and it really came
And
in
like,
handy.
I'm not an expert, but if people need like basic advice,
And
I
the
can.
AMD 7900
I'll talk to you
XTX
about
was
it.
just
Or I'll
like
talk
it
to other
belongs
people and
in a
figure out
fast
the right
vehicle.
answer if I don't know.
Did I point him in the right direction?
You can install
Yeah.
nitrous into your car.
I don't know anything about PCs.
And a
I don't know
fractal
a
north
damn
Did I
thing
tell
about
you
it.
my
The front of it,
troubleshooting
honestly,
story
looks
from
like
last
the grill of a
weekend?
car.
What's that?
Very classy car.
So I got a new GPU.
Yeah, you were telling
I
me about this.
installed it. Did I say it on stream?
No, you didn't tell me what happened. You told me that the card was coming and you were excited.
I'll tell everyone how much of a fucking idiot I was. So I put in the new GPU.
This is a
Everything
motor
worked
like
great
you might
for
find in
24
your ceiling
hours.
fan. If you
I go to
input
boot up Call of
electricity,
Duty for
it
day 2.
spins. And as bro
And
science might have it, if you
all of a
spin,
sudden my monitors both go black.
oh, you're
So
right.
I'm like, God
Of course you're
fucking
right.
damn it.
Well, you
No, that
did
makes
tell me
so
what
much
this
sense
was.
now that you say
Yeah,
it.
so I'm like looking things up. Like, first I restart a few times, whatever. I swapped out the old card into it, still not working.
For the power supply of the computer.
I looked it up. It's like, maybe your RAM isn't reseated. What's up, the one who waits? maybe you need to reseat your RAM, so I do that. And then I'm like kind of reseating everything, unplugging, replugging everything. Monitors aren't working at all. And it's like, okay, maybe there's a chance I burned out both monitors simultaneously somehow. So I get my laptop out and I'm going to plug that in with the HDMI just to test them. And as I'm crawling under the desk to plug in the laptop charger, my footrest had bumped the power switch on the power strip and turned off both of my monitors. That was what I did.
Can't say I haven't had similar things happening.
Yeah. And it took me like probably 2 hours to figure that out. I was like,
that can accept 24
I was
volts instead
pissed.
of wall plug.
And then I was so happy that it was nothing. Like, thank fuck.
Another thing to be thankful for that is even though you told us the story, which I guess you could say it makes you look foolish, but here's the thing, you didn't show us this. This didn't happen on stream in front of people.
Yeah, and I didn't blame the chat.
Yeah.
I did figure it out myself. Yeah, I was definitely swaying and T-posing.
Really fast.
Doing molding and seething.
Yeah, dude.
You don't want to know. So
I was drinking as well. It was bad. Because, like, I'm sitting on a folding chair. Like, I don't have a fucking workbench. Like, my setup for using the computer is great. My setup for working on the computer is terrible. So I've got my tower balanced on one folding chair, and then I'm sitting on another with a headlamp on, leaning over it, like, holding my back, just like, I have my back injury. I need John to be here to work on my PC.
To output enough electricity.
That's
and courtesy of GPT-4,
No, I get you.
It was killing me.
extrusion set. You just buy
Also, when I cleaned my tower out to put in the new GPU, that shit took like an hour. Like, my fans were caked in shit. Like, my computer was filthy, dude.
I don't need like a CNC machine.
It was
like
bad.
A whole laboratory of equipment.
And it's like, you know, I didn't clean it for 2 years. That's why. Like, it's all my own fault.
Keep cleaning my entire basement. I do my model kit.
It's easier if you do it more often. Because, like, canned air will clean it if it's not, like, fossilized yet.
Run first try without any trouble. So I was almost done.
I also have, like, there's nowhere for me to put my tower that's safe, so it's sitting on a Rubbermaid tote behind the desk.
That's wild, man.
Because if I put it on my desk, the desk is, like, sagging. Like, there's no, like... And if I put it under the desk, like, that's where I eat dinner. So that's, like, the danger zone. I can't be, like, spilling sodas into the top fans. I don't know where to put it.
You have an IKEA in your area? You should get those IKEA desks are pretty sick. I like.
Well, my desk is great. It's like a full L desk. It's just that, like, I used to have it on the desk.
They said it would make
and it was making like the loft thing sag, so it wasn't ideal. And I don't know, like, I could put it to the right of my desk, but like that's also like, dude, like crumbs from nachos could end up in there.
No, I've never been
or like I could spill a drink.
Built. Unless my child counts. So I've got to thank Micro Center for being extremely patient, as I took way too long to build this.
Yeah, this dude shills. He shills Micro Center like perfectly.
So I'm gonna try to.
Sometimes things deserve shilling. I know DSP doesn't believe that.
See if that powers the PC.
Some shit is good. There's a store near me. My friend is getting into Magic the Gathering, and I insist upon it. I told him so many times, I said, go to this store. Go to this store. It is the best. And this dude's got some sort of oppositional defiance disorder with me. He's like, it's probably just the same as any other place.
Yeah, he doesn't want you to be right.
Yeah. And then he goes there finally. He says, holy crap, they've got everything I needed. Yeah, it's better though.
Yeah, and it's joke's on you. I'm always right. I went to the Micro Center in Patterson, and they let me use their tools to hook up a new part and just test if it would boot.
That's rad, man.
Like, they gave me a monitor and everything. I'm like, can I just put this in and like make sure it fires up? And they're like, yeah, sure. It's like, do you want us to do it? And I was like, no, I just want to make sure it like boots to BIOS. And they're like, okay, here's a screwdriver and here's a monitor. Like, let us know when you're done. And like the Patterson store is busy, dude.
key in.
That's cool.
This button right here is gonna
Actually, every micro center's always busy, but
Mine is fairly not busy. So,
oh really?
Yeah, mine's not. Okay.
So I went to the one in Denver, and that place was rocking. And I like asked them. So I ordered my parts, and I was like, they had a deal where they would assemble it for free, and I'm like, all right, if you guys want to do it. And then I got an email that was like, because of like the high value of this, you need to like appear in person and sign for it. And I was like, what? Like that's not how credit cards work. So I went to I just drove down there. I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out. And they were like, oh, we didn't even get an order. And I was like, okay, can I just buy the parts and assemble it myself then? And they're like, yeah, sure. And they walk you through the store and ask you like, do you want Intel or AMD? Like, do you want liquid cooling or air cooling? How much do you want to spend on a case?
I'm just gonna go there when because I need to get.
Is this motherboard compatible with this chip, with this GPU? Like,
asking questions.
Here's a hard drive that'll work in your budget. Like, they're really legit. And as far as I know, their prices are good.
That was insane. Did you see the light come on? It was.
Holy crap! You almost did it. Yeah, they're cool as hell, man. I'm like a what was it that Larry the Cable Guy said? I'm like a retard in the Chuck E. Cheese there.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the very least, I wanted to.
I think Starforge is pretty decent. I know Linus Tech Tips did a video on them,
but it does mean
and I watched it like yesterday, and for the most part, it was pretty solid. The thing is, though, even if you let someone else build your system, shipping can jostle things. Maybe they didn't seat things quite right. Like, you still need to know a little bit about what you're doing.
His shit jostled on the shipping, and he just figured the PC was broken.
And I was right
he's stupid.
with almost enough.
Wait, what happened to his?
DSP bought a PC one time. That dude made it, the guy who owned it.
Oh, the old one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And things were not seated properly, and he just basically assumed it was broken.
He just used it with suboptimal RAM forever.
I couldn't get the engine to run smoothly enough to produce the 4.
And like, I'm not an expert. That's why I ask people.
Yeah, me too. I can
like Logan has helped me out with
and I had one
like frame rate issues, and like Prophet has given me good advice. If you just watch Prophet's videos, that's like most of the advice you need.
That's it?
I can't shill for him enough.
Nice go.
This whole time, I could have just asked.
Man, going greens tomorrow.
Perception. He overnight shipped me everything I needed off of.
Are you allowed to say what you're doing and who the guest is?
Yeah, it's hum along if you can't sing along.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
I'm watching that.
He needs to be a guest on this show at some point.
For sure. Also, Logan was saying he wants to do an internet asylum in the future.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep.
Man, you have all the intel with these dudes. You're kind of like my Shinobi intel dude.
Oh my goodness!
Now, this is pretty cool how he's exploring.
Now, Logan sent me a DM that was saying how he was laughing at the stream the other day, your like mainstream on Tuesday.
Oh.
And he was like, dude, I'm cracking up watching this shit. And I'm like, you should just come on Internet Asylum. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah,
We got to get Lefty involved.
I want to see him.
He's elusive these days. But I mean, actually, he's not. He's streaming regularly, but he's not doing Phil shit.
Yeah, because he had the same kind of opinion about it as Vault-Tec Rep had. I was talking to Logan about it. You know, Vault-Tec Rep, he stopped doing Dale content because he said, what else is there to say? He's stupid, he's an asshole, and that's the end of the discussion. You know?
Wait, Iviga's doing politics?
Yeah, I think he's restreaming the politics stream.
Oh, that. Okay, that makes sense. My chat is disconnecting and reconnecting constantly, so I don't know if.
Used a laptop or
so it's not my VPN.
I could have made it the Mustang.
No, it's not.
But something felt just right.
It's the Church of Scientology coming after us too late.
Shit. They're using internet thetans.
Like,
this
I'm
is really cool how he built this, though.
It is.
I'll tell you what, stuff like Star Wars did influence me because I always liked scenes where Han Solo and Chewbacca were working on their ship. Because I like the idea that these two...
it's futuristic as hell, but why would it be any different than today? Where,
exactly.
It's like, fuck, I gotta reseat the RAM on this thing. My plasma cannons aren't operating correctly.
Shit, I gotta do an update.
Check them out. I promise you.
That was cool. That was a cool ass video. I want to see again how it finally started up.
I mean, he only gets it to boot to BIOS because, like, obviously you're not going to play a video game with your foot on a gas pedal.
I don't know. Maybe.
Like, that would be fucking absurd.
What a load of shit. That's so cool, though.
I mean, it's not a load of shit. It is real.
Yeah. No, but like just the idea to do this.
I know.
A load of shit.
Well, that was like in high school. We always talked about how like our school computers have a carburetor on the top. It's like, oh yeah, these are state of the art. It's like, no, a different school threw these in the trash, and our school ran up to the dumpster and grabbed them out of the hands of the garbage man. Which is true. It's like, we're getting all new PCs, and it's like, yeah, the private school threw these out.
The components I could have made.
It's still got some food on them.
Garbage. I stopped trusting computer teachers when in elementary school a disk was stuck in the drive, so I stuck a paperclip in that hole that pops the drive, and the teacher was like, never put something metal inside a machine. And I was like, that's what this is for, though. And I was like 5.
Yeah.
So from then on, I was like very distrustful of any public school teacher telling me what to do on a computer. And like, look at me now. Now I'm turning my monitors off with the footrest. They could never do that. They would buy a new one.
the DSP approach. Oh, man.
I'd like to see any of those so-called teachers run Call of Duty at 110 frames.
I think a couple of my teachers could have. I had decent teachers, but
Humans have perfected the art of killing each other. Yeah, for real, dude. Yeah, war breeds innovation. For sure. So does because there's always been the argument that the space programs are like we can spend billions on space bullshit, but we can't like feed the homeless. There is something to be said for that argument, but like
we would get a lot of shit.
We also developed a lot of good tech that made the lives of people at least moderately better by doing. Because, like, you got to do crazy shit. It's like you see a mountain and it's like, well, I got to get to the top. And people are like, why would you do that? And it's like, well, it kind of makes shit happen. Now, for now, though, climbing Everest, I'm kind of like, why would you want to do that? Because, like, that people already did it. But, who cares now? It's like, dude, you're climbing Everest. There's a Starbucks at the top. Like, what are you doing?
No, I get you.
Like, it's not even real anymore. Like, you had to do it with, like, a wooden frame that held all your shit. That was when it was cool.
Like a little gas mask or something.
And it's like, now it's like, there's all these, like, tech solutions. And, I mean, it's still hard. I couldn't do it. I'm not going to trip on that. But, like, I don't know. Like, what are you doing? That's just like, I love travel and I love meeting new people. Like, that's just like dating profile bullshit to me. I'm not into it. And I love hiking. I'm just like, you're gonna climb Everest? Like, fuck you.
That's like that.
I respect those people who like go across the Atlantic in a kayak, though.
Yeah, that shit's wild, man.
Those dudes are fucking crazy. They probably see ghosts out there.
No problem.
Because it's like, how do you even piss? How do you shit? Like, you ever stand up in a kayak?
Man, I tell you what, they've fallen. And it's not like anyone's there to see it, so they fall in and get back up, maybe, hopefully.
Actually, maybe that is what you do. You just hold on to the side and let it rip into the water, but then you get back in the kayak and you're fucking freezing that night. Damn, dude.
Dudes are made out of harder stuff, that's for sure.
I got a cool story. Someone I knew was in the, it was like Coast Guard, but like the DEA portion of it. So they're rescuing people and they're looking for smugglers. They found a vessel floating that looked abandoned, and there was a seagull perched on like the edge of it, and just like a hand reached up, grabbed it by the neck and dragged it into the boat.
Holy
and there was
shit.
a dude who had been living at sea for like months, just out of gas, like motor failed, just floating in the middle of the ocean.
That's
just
crazy.
like living off of being really, really still until birds came close.
Man, that's wild, man.
It's the
I don't think
human
I'd be able to
spirit.
handle it.
That dude would be strong enough to become a ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah, the one who waits. You can watch. There's people who like streamed their like personal mission, and I think the most scared they get is when a ship is coming at them, and there's no way to really let them know. Like, they obviously get freaked out in the middle of the ocean when there's a storm and it's dark and cold and like, why the fuck am I doing this? But it's when a trade ship is barreling toward them where it's like, oh, this is just gonna fucking kill me. I don't know anything about Balatro. What is that?
Some sort of poker roguelike simulator.
Oh, actually, I do know about that. I watched someone play it.
Normal Jinx, stop
Looks
that.
cool. Yeah, dude, you hear the bloop.
Oh, you mean the
Oh,
LTG
man.
one?
I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it involves his dick.
All right, so I guess that'll be a fun video to end with if you guys want to. Let's see here. Of course.
If anyone wants to
just
play
gonna
some
blacklist
Call
it.
of Duty after this, I'll be in the deranged voice channel.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or I guess we could play like Chivalry too.
This nigga because he's Grandmaster with a name like that. We've never heard of a nigga
Immediate
named
N-word.
Flying Dildo. So what we're gonna do is take that flying dildo with a. We're gonna take the flying dildo with a mini bow and arrow, right? We're gonna shine it up greasy, put the best lube on it, that hot lube that when you put it on it makes your dick tingle, and we're gonna take it in the
Bro,
bow and
you
arrow,
gay.
add a little extension of another dildo. Take it, have one of my disciples spread your ass cheeks open, tie you up while you're bent
That's
over
something
a
straight guy
chair.
would say.
I'm gonna take the bow and arrow, take it, shoot it, blast it. Watch it move in slow motion. And you're gonna be like, "Ah!" That's what we're gonna do to your flying dildo. Get that ass banned, you dumb fuck. The fuck.
Oh, there you go. You got anything else for us, Embode?
No, I think I'm good. I also really have to piss, so this would be a good time to cut it.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for swinging by. I really appreciate it. You got anything planned?
I'm gonna play Call of Duty and get drunk.
Oh, there you go. That's a great plan. All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for stopping by. I hope you all learned a little something about L. Ron Hubbard today. He's a liar, and that's it. I mean, that dude's just a liar. And we'll be back not next Thursday, but the one after it, or the Wednesday, whichever one works out. But I'm doing a Going Green tomorrow with Hum Along. I actually don't know what we're watching yet. He still hasn't told me what he wants to watch, so it could just be that we.
What
decide
am
that
I
we're-
watching? You still haven't told me.
Hey, that's cool, man. He's keeping the suspense fresh. But you got any last words for these dudes?
Big ups to everybody in chat. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you for putting this one together. It was a good one.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe
All right.
Chicky Chang Wang. I'll throw that in
Goodness
there.
gracious. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.